You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collecting Smiths. Come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. They'll show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collecting Smiths. Come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. They'll show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast. This is Season 3, Episode number 13. And tonight we welcome back to the show AJ. What's up, AJ?
Not too much, man. Not too much. What's up with you guys?
Oh, not much, man. It's always good to see you. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks, man. Good to be back. Thanks.
So we got a little bit of a special episode tonight, guys. We're going to be digging into a bit of a deeper topic. We don't usually cover deep things, but we're going to be talking about video game addictions. Talking about our experiences with video game addictions and just general things that people can deal with associates with collecting or playing video games and it being addiction. So, yeah, quite an interesting topic, and it should be a fun show. And thanks for bringing up the idea, AJ. It should be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys, I tried to get Dr. Phil to come on, but I couldn't get him last minute. But maybe
I messaged Oprah. She didn't want to come on. She had a show, so.
But he did say that if anybody acts out of line, I can send him to the ranch. So you better. I wish I had that ability. Wouldn't that be great? Like you have a conflict with somebody at work, and you can just send him to the ranch. I don't know. I wish we could solve life's problems like that.
There's there.
At work, we use Teams all the time, and you can like put funny backgrounds. And like I have one where it's just Dr. Phil. I put that on all the time and join meetings. It just really confuses people. I have one like with The View. All the people from The View. It's just got. I don't know. My favorite one I have the entire cast of Baywatch. And then like the way it works is like I fit like perfectly in the middle, and so that's pretty sweet. That's what I do. That's what I do at work. I'm important.
You do like the Brady Brunch, and you're in the middle of that.
That's a good idea. I should get that one. Brady Bunch would be a solid one, especially if I could figure out how to like get myself in the square.
But don't have the Brady Brunch. Have all your coworkers around the house.
That would be really funny. There was one guy like that we hired, and like you could clearly tell he had some serious photo editing or like some editing chops, because he would join meetings and he'd be like on the head of a chihuahua. And it would just be like his head on you. I'm like, what is this? And he had one. He was like on a fish, and the fish was like, floating around in a tank, and it was like, I'm like, dude, this is nuts. Like, it made my little Dr. Phil look like child's play.
If he's really good, he's probably not at half of the meetings, and he's just like got some bots doing it all for him. And when it's his turn to talk, he gets a notification and he jumps back on the computer.
He probably makes more money not working than working. He's probably here for the health insurance, would be my guess. In America, you have to get a job just to have health insurance. It's insane, because if you try to like buy your own health insurance, it's absurdly expensive. Like it's just unreasonably expensive. So if you work for a company, they take like maybe couple $100 a month out of your check or whatever. But if you're like self-employed and you try to buy health insurance, it's like $500 a month, $600 a month, $700. It's like insane just to exist. It's like, well, if you'd like, to be able to get your tonsils checked out every once in a while and have a physical, I'll be about $700 a month. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know. It's a
wild concept. Man. I remember when I started working for myself, Joe, you mentioned to me one day, you're like, what are you doing about health insurance? Like, so seriously. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. But you have to yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
We're cold. We're cold here. You can't get no health insurance. You have to work or die. No, I'm just kidding. We have tons of social network, Medicare, Medicaid, stuff, but it is what it is. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not derailing the show. I'm like right off the bat talking about healthcare. Let's talk about talk about video games. That's my goal for the next 10 shows. We're just gonna talk about video games.
Oh, sounds good. We haven't done that for 10 episodes at least. It's been the 90s movies nostalgic show.
I know. I'm trying to focus.
Well, guys, let's move on to our topic then, shall we? And would you like to start, AJ?
If you, yes, sir, you have to be okay with you. I wouldn't mind a bit. So in regards to video game addiction, how should we go about starting this? Just we all tell our stories and just see where we go from there?
Yeah, I think we all tell personal stories where either video game playing or collecting or a little bit of both. We'll just go around the circle and then we can start talking about, how it can affect different forms in video game collectors or gamers that we haven't experienced. So.
Okay. Yeah. So my biggest thing is I've made jokes about it on the podcast and brought it up, but I am visually impaired. I'm legally blind. My vision's not very great. And one big area for me with video game addiction growing up, it was actually twofold. First was being able to be a part of something. Without going into too much detail, I didn't have very many friends in school, wasn't chosen for a lot of things athletically, and I couldn't really leave the house and go very far. So I didn't really have much of a social life or much of a structure that gave me that sense of real purpose growing up. So when I started to get into video gaming, it gave me that creative outlet to feel like to feel like I achieved something, to feel like I can do something big with my life. Whether it be something as little as just being able to finish a level in a video game, or being able to keep continuing to climb a leaderboard in a game. It gave me that sense of achieve the things I wanted to as a kid. And it got to the point where I'd play video games for 8-9 hours a night sometimes. I do single games of Call of Duty Zombies, as an example, and I continue into the 20s, 30s, and easily. And that would take up a lot of my day. I do 4 or 5 matches like that because I had a consistent team of people who supported me, people who I supported back, and not having that escape, going into the video game world and being able to do all those things, it became my life. And so there was a point where my mom and dad, my family hardly ever saw me because I was always playing games, trying to feel like I was something more, trying to feel that sense that there's things that other people often had. And when I got into game collecting, my addiction moved from that into the dopamine rush of finding the next game, of adding another piece to the collection. And it helped me feel almost complete in a way. If I was able to cross off this game or that game from my list, it gave me a thing I could do with my disability. And as silly as it sounds, at that time I was a lot younger, and I didn't fully understand that was not a healthy outlet to express myself to that degree in that way. So hopefully I was able to sum it up pretty well. So yeah, that's pretty much where I suffered from it. That's where I suffered from my addiction.
I'll go into mine. It's a little bit completely different to AJ's, but similar again. So as a kid, I definitely thank my parents for not allowing me to play video games as much. Me and my brother weren't allowed to play video games Monday to Fridays when school was on. We were only allowed to play on the weekends, and then there was time limits on how much we were allowed to play. And I played every second I could, but because there were those time limits. I wasn't playing more than 5 or 6 hours a week, so it wasn't 12-hour binge sessions. It wasn't until I got to like 17, 18, and it wasn't console gaming or anything. I started playing mobile gaming, and it was games that involved spending money. And I didn't have much money at the time, but I had the occasional $20, $50, $100, and I was putting that in a week and climbing up leaderboards on mobile games. And it's a dopamine thing. So the more you put in, the more positive feedbacks you get, and you start to feel really good about yourself. And people in the community will be like, "Oh, you're doing really well," and that'll make you feel good, and you keep striving to keep pushing up leaderboards and different things like that. And fast forward 3-4 years, I'm suddenly spending $50, $100 a week on this game, and it really took years until I realized, I don't want to be doing this anymore. And I was able to sell my account and make a bit of money back, but was nothing compared to what I put in or the time you put in. And that was my first instinct with video game addiction, I would say. The next one probably would have been playing an online game, which would have been PUBG. It was definitely a much more enjoyable addiction, but nevertheless, it was still an addiction. I played PUBG, I would say, almost full time, and I played it for 3 or 4 years every single day for some days 16 hours if I was working, 8 hours. And there was definitely some positives. I'm not saying like the addiction was bad, but there was definitely like some amazing things where I was playing with, mainly the same people every day. And when you're doing that, it feels awesome. It's a social thing. And it can be more fun than going out and drinking with your friends or just playing by yourself. Having the same people you play with all the time can feel amazing. It can be great. Not just that, I was also streaming on Twitch, and I was doing that every day. And I've spoken about Twitch burnout in the past, where I was working full time, going home, streaming, making content, and I didn't really have a break, and I was living on caffeine to keep me awake and different things like that. So like burnout's definitely real. And I would say it's all an addiction as well. Like I might have been having fun, but I was definitely addicted to it because it was, when you don't have anything outside of your life but like your video game and your full-time job, then, you obviously have to say it's an addiction. And I did really well in the game. I was, not top of the leaderboards, but I think I peaked at like number 3 in the world at one point and won tournaments and, did pretty well on Twitch. So I definitely had a great time playing, but I was definitely addicted to the game. And then my third point in video game addiction I'd like to talk about is collecting. You guys know I got a big collection. I've been collecting for 10 years. But in this time, I definitely went through periods where I had got FOMO. I'd see different collectors on Facebook buying games that I didn't own, and I'd have to buy those games. I was spending money where, I had bills to pay or video games to buy, and I was buying the video games and putting the bills second and different things like that. And I was young and, I built a massive collection. I got no regrets, but if I went back, I definitely would have done things differently and taken my time more. And, if I seen something that someone else had, you don't just need that because someone else has got it. If you find with video game collecting, things always show up. There'll be this game that you really want and you've been after it for a month and you finally find that copy on eBay and it's, $200-$300. You bite the bullet. Guess what? One's going to show up down the line for $150, $100. It's just how it works. And the longer you collect, the more you do see those things show up. So that's my personal experiences with video game addiction, whether it's playing or collecting. So I'd like to hear your experiences, Joe.
So, video gaming, this is a deep topic. I can talk about this from a couple of different angles. Like in general, I feel like gaming is addictive because it offers like a sense of accomplishment and purpose and a rewarding experience that is like an on-demand thing, which is really nice because that's not how real life works. And a lot of the times it's not like you can just be like, I want to succeed and I'm just going to go do it. And all I have to do is follow these rules and do this and I will be rewarded. We wish it would like that. That's the way we want it to be. but that's not how reality is. It's not what it is. But a game is like that. It offers you like a pleasurable experience that is designed to make you feel good and designed to make you feel like you're progressing and becoming more powerful and you're becoming stronger and you're doing all that stuff. So I, in a way, think that's the source of a lot of gaming addiction in general, is because a lot, especially if your real life maybe isn't as awesome as you want it to be, your digital life can be a lot better than that. It's like if you're in a game like, let's say you play The Sims or you play Grand Theft Auto or something like that, you could be a broke ass person in real life, but you could be a millionaire in those games. And you could feel like a millionaire and feel like what it's like to be like powerful and have that and, you know, be able to manipulate things in the game because you have all this currency in the game and you don't have that in real life. So that can be very addicting in itself. And so for me, I never really had any problems growing up or anything with that stuff. But it was like, when I got a little older, and I've talked about this a bunch of times, it was World of Warcraft for me. That was the game that actually like I was really like addicted to. I got a problem with that game, and I've thought about it for years on like why that happened. Like, because I'm kind of mad it happened, because I've explained this in the past too. Like the concept of gaming being addicting, like that never crossed my mind. I didn't think you could become addicted to something like that. Like I only thought of like drugs or drinking or something, like, you know, physically addicting, psychologically addicting. That never really was a concept that I'd ever really thought about. So I feel like in a lot of ways, I feel like I was tricked. I was like given heroin and no one told me that's what I was taking. Like that's kind of how I feel about that game. I did not know what I was getting into, and I got into it hardcore. But the reason I think that I got so addicted is for a lot of reasons. So it is that whole artificial, like you're getting, like every day you're getting stronger, you're leveling up, you're getting more gold, you're getting better gear, you're progressing. You can feel that sense of purpose and that sense of accomplishment all the time. Whereas in your real life, you might just be stuck in, like at the time I had some shit job that I paid like crap, that it would no future. It was just a crappy job. I like graduated college in 2008 when the entire economy exploded and like I couldn't find a job. Like it was like I was depressed, you know what I mean? So the game was offering me this like better experience than my real life was, because in the game I was the man, dude. I was like one of the best on the server and the best guild in the server, getting, you know, first kills, special titles, rare mounts, the best gear, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that sense of like, oh man, I'm the shit. That I could get that in the game. In real life, I'm like, my life's kind of shit. You know what I mean? It wasn't good. So that's one of the reasons I got really addicted. Another point is that what you said, AJ, is that social aspect of it, where after a while you play with these people enough and you feel obligated and to them to be there and play. Because now it's not just about you playing a game. It's about you and your team accomplishing this thing. And you have to raid on this day and you got to be there on this time. And they're counting on you. And especially if you're like, I was an officer in my guild. So I wasn't just like, you know, I had to be there. I had to coordinate things. I had to run the chat that I was in charge of and make sure this and blah, 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 and help with strategies and help with positioning and, you know, do all the stuff officers do. So if I don't show up, I mean, I was a guild leader for a while, for God's sakes. I ran the damn guild. So for that was the worst. So like, you know, if I don't show up, we don't raid. 40 people or 25 people don't get to play if I don't show up. So that was like a whole other weird pressure that got added to me and made me addicted to that game and made me keep playing because I felt like I had to be like for my homies, for my boys. But
can I throw something to that?
Yeah.
I had very similar experiences in other games, like getting to the point where you become the leader. But prior to that, and I'm sure you would have been the same, you would have been playing and you would have been wanting nothing more than being the guy who was running the raids and had all that responsibilities. And you probably grinded your way to get to that point, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it was just one of those. Yeah. Exactly. And so it depends. It was different for different guild, but like the one I ended up becoming the guild leader, it was just like, you know, you contribute more and the guild leaders see that. and then they give you more responsibility and give you more responsibility and give you more responsibility. And then what happens is the guild leader is like, I quit, I don't do this anymore. And you're like, oh shit. And you're like next in line. That's kind of what happened with me. It's not necessarily like I, grinded to get to the throne. I just kept getting more responsibility and then eventually got left holding the bag, so to speak. Like, nobody else wanted to do it and I could do it. So I was like, all right. And it was fun. And like I said, I loved it. Like I don't want to say it's all like doom and gloom. Like you said, there's some positive things to that. I've made friendships from playing that game that I'm still friends with those people to this day. Even though I don't play WoW anymore, we still talk and we still chat and stuff. Like we're homies. We play other games still. Like,
Yeah.
It's cool.
If I may bring up a positive as well in regards to making friends. I was raised in a very small town where I didn't meet a lot of, even seeing someone who wasn't, from my area was very difficult. So growing up, playing, multiplayer games, co-op games, especially co-op games. That's what I played a lot growing up. It was really interesting meeting people from across the world. I mean, I had friends from Korea. I had friends from South Korea, Australia, Brazil, and I think it's one of the best aspects of that, especially when you're younger or a young adult, is seeing all these different cultures in their own way, whether it be how people talk, the way they experience things, where they play, whatever it could be. I think experiencing different cultures and meeting all these people from across the world is one of the best elements of online gaming. Being able to be, to almost not quite visit, but to experience just a little bit of somewhere else,
Mm-hmm. Especially when you're playing a game that you do have like a clan in, and the game is a 24/7 game, so you can't just have an all-American clan because you get destroyed at night, or an all-European clan because you get destroyed during the day. You have to have your Australians and people from Asia and people from Europe and people from America, and it works better when you diversify like that, and those teams are the ones that do better. And yeah, it is so cool, meeting people from different cultures and different languages and different things like that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not even I'm not even really, I'm WoW is what it is. And if you're into WoW, like the stuff that I'm complaining about, like you want that. Like you said, like it's not bad. If you want a game that is like, you want your one game, and that's all you want to do, is you want to be able to play this one game, and you want to put all your time into this one game, and you want always to have something to do in this one game, and you always want to play this. Like, if that's what you want, then all of the things I'm talking about WoW are good, because they keep you in your seat and they keep you engaged and you have stuff to do, and it's good. But I'm so beyond that point in my life now where I'm the opposite. I'm like, dude, tell me a game is 20 hours or less, please. Like, that's the sweet spot for me. I like a 20-hour game. I like a game that takes me like 4 or 5 sittings maybe to beat, and then I'm out. Like, that's perfect for me. Like, and I want to move on to something else just because I've sort of created a problem. I have too many games, and I've reached a point psychologically where I cannot justify, so when it comes to physically addicting, I'm like really in control of that, believe it or not. You may not think so. You may look like and be like, this looks outrageous, but I'm like really like mindful of the FOMO, and I do not just buy stuff just because it looks like I always like think about it twice, think about it 3 times, 4 times before I buy something. You know what I mean? Because I don't have a lot of space. I don't have a lot of time, and there's no reason for me to, logically, I've been able to work it through in my head. Like, I don't reasonably need to do that. I do need a new porch. I need stuff in my house. Like, there are things I need, and like I'm able to like put that priority in my life now, where games are cool and I want them and I get them. And trust me, I definitely buy stuff I shouldn't, but I'm not perfect, but I'm not addicted. To it at all. And I'm also good at selling things too. I'm good at letting go, where I feel like if you can't do that, that's a problem. If you're only buying, and you literally like have a problem, like you cannot sell anything, that's like hoarder. You're like psychologically have a problem with letting stuff go. You're like the old lady that wanted a newspaper from 1972. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
where you've got
But-
like 4 of the same game, and you'll have your
Yeah.
collection, and then you got your doubles, and you can't even sell the doubles. That's where it's like, all right, you've
Yeah.
got a problem at that point because
I
you
agree.
bought those games to sell, and you can't sell them. And I know many collectors like that, and you got to overcome that yourself. You can't just have someone
I
harassing you, going, "You got to sell these because you bought them to sell."
Yeah.
No, you have to do it yourself and
If-
motivate.
if I make a point on that, that's a really good point that you guys bring up. Whenever I was addicted to game collecting, I would go to GameStop or any used game store, and if it was any game, didn't matter what it was, if as long as it wasn't crap sports games or like Move or like games or like shovelware Wii games, if it was $5 or less, I'm buying it. If I didn't have it in the collection, I was buying it. I was living in a 1-bedroom house with like 900 games at one point, and I just couldn't let go of hardly anything. And it wasn't until maybe around the time I actually hopped on the podcast for the first time back when it wasn't Joe. It's when I started to really sit back and reevaluate. And I don't know if you remember, Figsy, how huge my shelf was at that point, but like it's gone down a lot since then. Like that's most of my games back there now. And there's a bit of a gap there because of my pickups, but I was looking at what I had, like the stuff I was showing on the podcast the first time. That was maybe half of what I had, and I was like, I don't need all this stuff. But it took me years of sitting back and just seeing and being overwhelmed with all of the clutter, all the mess, and having a family saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" My partner, I don't know how, but she was being great, supporting me through the whole thing. And she just come up and said, "Hey, this is starting to this is starting to become a problem." And so it's one of those things. Like it can be hard to sell when you start to make physical or mental connections to them. It's very difficult to get out of that mindset. I want to play everything. We're not realizing you don't have the time to play 900 games. You just don't.
Yeah, I think my collection got to a point where it was a really awesome collection, and then it hit a point where it was obsessive for one person to own 2 game rooms full of video games and
Yeah.
a living room full of like collector's editions and kiosks. And like, as cool as it was, I'm not a multi-millionaire of a massive house or anything to store all this stuff. My house was just full of video games, and that's all it was. And like, you step back and you're like, is this really what I want? Like, I don't own it anymore because I sold a lot of this stuff, but I owned some peripherals that I was never going to use. I just owned because they were big boxes. I owned 3 massive boxed DJ Hero things. Why? Because they were cheap.
Mhm.
That's the reason I owned them, because they were cheap, not because I wanted them, not because they were cool or meant anything to me. I owned them because they were cheap and they were there.
Yeah.
Like, I was just literally going out to game shops and I was just buying whatever I didn't own because there wasn't much I didn't own. And it's definitely a very toxic thing. Like, I wasn't buying what I wanted anymore. And I used to love going out and finding games that I, was looking up online. I really want this game. But I got to a point, collecting in the same city for almost a decade. I owned everything in the town unless I wanted to buy a brand new game. And I'm so much happier today with my collection. It's looking through the walls and everything's like a game that I want to own or I want to play. It's not just, I bought this because it was cheap. It's, I bought this because I wanted it, or I bought this because, I want to play it, or I've played this game and it's one of my favorite games. So, like collecting a full set, I have no regrets, but I would definitely wouldn't recommend anyone collecting a full set, especially modern systems. Like, if you want to collect a full set, collect like GameCube or something that's got 300-400 games in it. That is
500, less than 500 games.
Yeah, they can fit in one shelf. If you're collecting a system like the PS3 or the PS2 or the PS, you need a whole game room for one system, and you're buying like 500 shovelware titles you don't want. You have to be prepared for that. And some of these games are expensive. Like, you're spending $70 on soccer games or NBA games, like Just Dance games. Like, what lifetime do I want to spend $100 to get a bunch of Just Dance games? It's never going to play them in my life. And nothing against people that like Just Dance. It's an amazing series. It's not for me. I like other games. So, Yeah, I'm very happy now that I've slimmed down my collection. I've sold over 2,000 games in my collection. I'm under the 3,000 mark, and I'm probably going to keep going until I'm around that 2,000 mark. So, yeah, watch
I
this.
feel like that's it's so funny perspective how what changes to what people think are a lot of games and what aren't a lot of games. But like,
Yeah.
I have like maybe like 1,500 PS4 games, and I'm like, that's like a sweet spot for me because like they're all good games. Like I've purged my collection a few times now, so like I'm very, like you said, I'm very happy with what I have. The only collection that I have where some of the games are obviously not that great is I did the complete PSVR collection, and
I
there's
sold
quite
most of the VR
there's
stuff. So I'm like, why did I
there's
buy
some,
this? What's
there's some
this?
stinkers in there for sure that I have no intention of playing, but that's a cool little. But still, that's a reasonable
I'm
set.
still
Like
going
the
for the
whole set's like 180 games or something.
Yeah,
it's not like a
Yeah.
freaking 5,000 games. Man, it's 180 of them. So,
and if you ever did want to sell your collection one day, those would probably be the first ones to go because you're already thinking about like, oh, why do I own all that shovelware in the VR set? Where most of it's pretty cool, but then you do have all that other stuff.
It's not shovelware. It's just, I don't
when
know.
you get to a point where
I am going for
have to, your shelves are full, and you have to decide: do I put the new game on the shelf and take stuff out? That's where you have to be like, all right, is it time to start selling things? Double stacking shelves and stuff like that. Because if you're not displaying games, and you might have too many.
Yeah, so that's and I think you're getting back. You were talking about that dopamine problem with buying games, and that's a real thing too. There's like something, I still get that every time I get a notification about something. You got your deliver, something was back. You got something. You're like, oh yeah, what showed up? Like that little like moment. I'm like, I don't even know what it is. What is it? Which game showed up? Is it something I bought recently? Is it something I bought 6 years ago that finally showed up? What do I got? Like that is like a fun little dopamine thing. But
Speaker brought up a good comment too that I want to touch on. So Speaker said, how many games do you have where the game was not on disc? And that's such an interesting thing. Now that I'm really thinking about selling my collection, games that aren't on the disc, I'm selling. Especially when they still sell for what I paid for or even more. I've got PS3 games that are complete editions, but then you open them and the download code for the DLC's expired. It's like, I bought this brand new, it's expired. Why? What's the point of owning it? Like, is it really worth more? I mean, it sells for more, but at the end of the day, is it really worth more? Because suddenly it's exactly the same as the black label that doesn't have the DLC.
I always do that research when anytime there's a regular or a complete. I always look up, is the content on the disc? If it's not, I never ever go for it. It's like that Castlevania on PS3, the Lords of Shadow. I bought the cool limited edition, the big collector's edition one that doesn't come with the extra game because the extra game is just a download code. So why would I pay the extra money to get a download code? Like when, I don't even care because I own that game on the 3DS. So why the hell?
And it's probably expired at this point,
Dude.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to buy.
Another bad example of that.
I'm all set. Yeah, I hate that. And that, but so believe it or not, my game collection, like I have very few AAA games. Like I don't go for any games that like, you have like 50,000 patches. I try to avoid them if possible.
Yeah.
Most of my games are like indie games and stuff like that. So, but we'll see how many of them actually play in the future and work. I mean, that's definitely going to be an issue.
It is. It's funny you guys bring up the whole thing with DLC codes. A great example of that is the Resident Evil 6 anthology. This is like loads of games on it, but they're all a DLC code. It's like almost all the games in the franchise up to that point. Only 6 is on the disc.
I can argue against that one, AJ, because those expiry codes have no expiry date. I think it's like 1,000 years or something. So if you buy a brand new copy, you'll always be able to download them. Unless the whole PS3 store goes down.
Yeah.
Which it will, though. Which it will.
The store will go down before the codes expire. But I purposely bought that brand new sealed from Amazon so I could know that my codes haven't been used and I've got a brand new copy on the shelf. I saw something the other day, and the guy messaged me, and he's like, "Have you used the DLC codes?" And I bought the game brand new, so I'm like, "I haven't, but I've checked, and they expired 3 years ago." And he still bought the game. So, like,
Yeah.
a collector, that's on his list, and suddenly realized that even buying a sealed copy, it's going to be expired. So, still wanted the video game because that's on the list, and I understood that. I did that for years, but at the end of the day, is it still the same game, or should you just cross it off the list because it's expired DLC? Like, it's an interesting topic.
Oh yeah.
Mike just asked the question: where do you sell your games, Figsy? So I sell 99% of my games on eBay under the Figsy Game Store. So if you want to check out what I got on there right now, I got about 1,000 PlayStation games in my collection on there.
So yeah, you got to learn how to regulate the FOMO, and you got to realize that these companies are trying to manipulate you, and you got to know what things are actually rare and are going to be hard to get, and what things are artificially making you think that, because there's lots of things that are marketed as rare and hard, and they're going to be collectible, not. And it's the stuff that ends up being the hardest to find and the rarest to find is just always the obscure, weird crap that nobody even knew about at the time.
Yeah.
That's the stuff. It's in 5 years from now, someone's like, "Hey, did you realize this game got released in this region and it has this weird thing?" And everyone goes, "No." And then everyone wants this thing, and now there's like no one can find it. There's only like 10, 15 of them. Those are the ones that end up being hard to get.
Yeah, you're 100% spot on. It comes down to a few things. I watch a guy that's like an accountant, a business analyst, but he goes in depth on talking about the collecting scene and things like this. So for something to become collectible, it needs a thing called organic collectability. Mm-hmm. Now, when a company like Limited Run Games release something and release it as, "Hey, this game's got 1,000 copies," that completely takes away the organic collectability, because they're selling it as a collectible item. For an item to become collectible, it can't be sold like that. It has to become collectible. Like, and if you look back at all the real expensive rare games, they were never sold as we're trying to sell this to be a rare game. Look at Stadium Events. Yeah, that's rare because it didn't sell. It's expensive because it didn't sell. That's organic collectibility. None of these games like Limited Run that are sold at 1,000 copies. Okay, there will be a few because they're good games, but none of them are going to turn out to be the next Stadium Events or anything because of how they were sold. And there will be PS4 games that will be way more expensive than any limited rare game. And they'll be retail releases. They would have slipped under the radar. Like Joe said, probably just in one region. It's probably an absolutely amazing game that everyone who's buying it wants to play it, not just own it. And there'll only be a few copies out there. And it might be because the developer didn't have much money and that's all they could afford. It's not going to be because the developer wanted it to be rare. And people have to realize that. Limited Rare Games is a perfect example. Like, they make such a joke out of this, and be on with the joke. It's funny, but realize that they're taking advantage of people too. They just posted a tweet today that I wanted to talk about. It was funny. That was like a time travel, and he's like, "I've been to 300,000 universes," and the guy's like, "Which universe has got the most variants of Shantae?" And he's like, "This one."
that's great.
Yeah, that is funny, dude.
In regards to FOMO, that's the big reason why I don't support directly these big companies like Limited Rare, Limited Run. I'd rather pay more for someone on eBay than give in to their whole thing of, "Oh, you got to get this from us. You got to get this from us. It's going to be rare, impossible to find." With very few exceptions, you can find them for either right at retail or like $5 or $6 high.
I think the coolest stuff they're doing is their merch lately. Honestly, I think their shirts and their hats and shit are fire for the games. Like, I like that. I'm kicking. I'm still so mad I didn't get a Castlevania hat from them. But like, I dropped so much. I bought all 4 copies of that game, And I was just
Yeah.
a little tapped for cash. I was like, man, I don't know how much am I spending on Castlevania. We're talking about being responsible over here, and I'm over here buying 4 copies of the same game.
That's all right, man. We've all done it.
You're missing
We've all
out.
done it.
But hey, I really like Castlevania.
Yeah, it's like with me. I'm trying to get all the Ys games because I love that franchise. Everything released in the West, so
Yeah, you'll end up getting the Japanese stuff too if you get really into it. Everybody does all the Ys stuff. Yeah, because like the Ys games that came out in Japan have like really cool covers and really amazing artwork. And
Oh yeah, and then there's some really cool special editions. One that came out in Japan too.
exactly, yeah, there's some amazing stuff. So, yeah, that's a big announcement. Ys 10's coming out in the fall. I'm very excited about that. I have the collector's edition. 8 and 9, so I'm really hoping they do something for 10. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen these. I showed these off before.
Nice.
But this the PS5 version looks exactly like the PS4 version. I like literally don't think you can tell them apart.
You can't tell. Like, I don't like that. Same as the Vita version. They're all
you can't tell. But I've
What
been told this is the PS5. Imagine I open it and it's not after all these years.
You're like, I only want to sell the PS4 version, and you can't tell which one's which.
Yeah, and then I picked up the one for 9 too. So,
No,
and I'm like, you know me, I'm like, I am anti collector's edition.
Yeah,
I'm always like, don't get the collector's edition. I don't have the space. I don't have the room. That shit's stupid, but I do like Ys. So,
no, they wouldn't pass my. I'm sticking to my rules now. If it doesn't fit on a G2 size shelf and it doesn't have From Software in the title, I'm not buying it.
don't blame me, man. Did you pick up the new Armored Core game they did?
Not yet. And because Armored Core isn't one of my favorite games, I'm just going to wait till it's on like the $20 shelf before I pick it up.
Don't blame
Which
me.
it will be because it's
dropped to
known,
40 recently.
Yeah, so it's halfway then.
Mm-hmm.
I will play it though. I do love my From Software.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Just be careful with the addiction, guys. I mean, there are people out there watching who probably should reevaluate what they're doing. And
We'd love to hear from you guys if you've had experiences with video game addiction, whether it's playing video games or collecting video games. Let us know in the comments. Let us know how you overcame them if you did, and yeah, quite interesting to hear. It's an interesting topic that people might be addicted and not even acknowledge it or realize it and go on their whole lives like nothing.
It actually took me. Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, I was gonna say I became a male prostitute for a copy of Superman 64.
It took me. I'm not kidding you guys. It took me until I got in these Facebook groups and being a lot more of a part of the online community to really realize how out of hand my stuff was. To see how much I was giving into FOMO or to see how much I was picking up. It really helped me in the perspective, seeing collectors saying, "Oh, I want to get 4 variants of this Just Dance game," because I was going down that same path, and I was looking at myself, going, "Man, this is really what I want to do." So sometimes being in the community can help with that as much as it can hurt.
Now, you just made me think of something, AJ, and I think this is important for a lot of people.
Well, I guess keep picking on Just Dance.
You should never compare yourself to other collectors because you don't know other people's backgrounds. You don't know other people's financial backgrounds. You could be seeing someone pick up 10 games a week, but they're a multi-millionaire and you're not even aware of that. And you're struggling to make means and trying to impress some random person on the internet who doesn't care. It's like, just collect at your own pace. These games aren't going anywhere. They're going to be here in 5 years, 10 years time. Or they might be $5 or $10, $20, $50 more expensive, but they're not going anywhere. They're always going to be here. So, just pace yourself. Like, if you make a big purchase and, you buy that game you really want, then take a couple of weeks off before you make another one and things like that.
Yeah.
It's important.
Another thing, too, don't be afraid to use. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're at it, Jeff. I'm finished.
I'm about to say another thing, really important thing, too, is if you got, is to use trades. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. When you're done with something, trade it or sell it. There's no point to keep a lot of this extra stuff. I cannot tell you, if not for the fact I've traded in a lot of stuff, I wouldn't have half the good stuff I have now. Everything from some of my holy grails I've only acquired because I traded someone a big stack of 50 or 60 commons I didn't need anymore for one good game. And so just consider that instead of spending cash. Even doing that can be a big help.
And just on what AJ just said, if you're buying games brand new and you're playing them, look to move them after you finish playing them, because 90% of games, after you buy it day one, you play it for a couple of weeks, it's going to be worth a fraction of what it is, and it's going to depreciate on your shelf. So after that 1 or 2 weeks is the best time you're ever going to have to either sell it or trade it. And you can go and buy a brand new game and then just keep trading with mates for other brand new games. And so you only bought one game and played 10. If you have a good group of circle of mates, you could all do that. And I used to share on the podcast how I would buy brand new PS5 games. I would obviously hustle and try and get them for the best price, play them as fast as I could, and then I'd turn around and sell them on eBay as fast as I can. And I would play so many new IPs for $5 or $10 because that's how I did it. And originally when I started collecting, I was buying brand new PS4 games for $90, $80, and I got plenty on the shelf that are worth $10 today.
Yeah.
And I realized I don't want to have that ever happen again, and you don't need to have that happen. You just have to be proactive, and it's not hard to sell stuff. You might have to watch a couple of YouTube videos to learn how to do it, but yeah, all the information in the world is out there on YouTube, so definitely got no excuses.
And that's kind of if you have a nice collection of games and you have a backlog you can't finish, like you should really start reconsidering buying brand new games. Like you gotta start wrapping your head around that, guys. Like there's no reason to pay $70 for a game if you ain't playing it right away.
Yep.
I know that feeling where you just want it because it's new and it's shiny and like whatever, but like try not to buy them.
Physical version day one too.
Yeah, and
like a lot of these games are coming to Game Pass day one, and you can play them cheap. You don't have to buy them day one.
Yeah. If you really want to play, like I'm gonna probably get Final Fantasy VII day one and play it because I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna put all the other games on the back burner and I'm gonna play that game because I'm excited about it. So there's nothing wrong with doing that if there's a game that you love or a series that you love and you're excited and you have a passion and you're going to play it. Then sure, that's fine. But just if you're not, if you're like gonna play it and sock it on the shelf, like Figsy said, where it's just gonna go down in value. Just chill, just wait.
I have a confession to make, and that's that in regards to doing that, I wasn't doing that until fairly recently. I know a minute ago I had said this in most of my games. Idiot me forgot about my Switch and portable shelf off to the side. I have like 25, 30 Switch games I've not even opened the cellophane on. It could be a problem, like seriously.
Yeah, so why do you need to get, Switch games are different. Switch games don't get cheap.
Yeah, the argument of Switch games is they still sell for what
that's true.
You buy.
That's true.
I can't make the same argument for Switch games.
If it's like Assassin's Creed on the Switch, then it's not. So,
although right now there are 6 like first party titles on sale at VGP for $40. They have like 3 Kirby games, a Mario game, so you could get them for $40 occasionally. 6 of them out of the 15,000. So I don't know. Switch collecting, I can't give you the same advice. Switch collecting is like either you can buy it for $60, or you can wait and you can buy it for $60, or you can wait a long time and buy it for $100.
That's another good point too, Joe. Another area for me that I suffered from with collecting was FOMO on prices. I like a lot of niche games, low, like Japanese games, RPGs, shmups, weird, quirky stuff. And oftentimes they don't have very long print runs, or the price of them will suddenly spike. So for a while there, I was buying a lot of stuff by NAS America, Atlas, small companies, ordering even limited run stuff off of eBay. And I was always afraid, if I don't buy it now, it's going to go from $40 to $100. Same thing with retro stuff. I've seen games like the Silent Hill franchise skyrocket, and that scared me at one point. I believe that, if I'd rather go ahead and pay for it for $50 now, even if I don't have enough money to do that this month, than wait a year and pick it up for $200. Not realizing that, in a year's time, I could be so much better off financially. It wouldn't matter. Or I could save up more at that point to get, And I would say when I was younger, I did that probably for a good 70 or 80 games. So, that can be a problem too.
It adds up too. That
The
turns
way
into thousands of dollars.
the
Yeah.
way to beat that is you have to join the dark side, guys, and realize that emulation has its place, and it is a good thing. So if you're feeling this desperate need that you have to get this game because it's getting really expensive and it's got, just play it, play the damn
Yeah.
game, just download it and play it, and
Yep, they're
then
not gonna- yeah.
that feeling you won't feel so desperate. And you know what will happen a lot is a lot of the times these games that are really expensive, they're not that as good as they people claim
Yeah.
they are. They're not.
Africa is a great example.
People attribute things being good because they're valuable, and that's not true. There are a lot of valuable games that aren't that great, and if you play them,
Yeah.
they're not worth $700 at all.
Exactly.
They're not worth $500 at all. Now, some of them are.
Yeah.
But even then, you can have that experience for practically free, for nothing, and
Yeah.
still enjoy it. So, what I would suggest is if you're feeling that, play it on an emulator, and then
Yeah.
if you still feel that way, if you're like, I loved that game, then you should probably buy it, and maybe you should drop the dough and you should do that. But what I highly suggest is that on expensive games is what I do, and most people I know is that if, like, let's say it's more than $100 or something like that. You define what expensive is to you. Those are the games you should trade for, or you should sell stuff to get that money. So if you're like, I want this $200 Silent Hill game, I really loved it, I played it on an emulator, I gotta have it in my collection. That's when you go in and you find some commons and you sell. Not even if it's $200 game, sell $100. Just get half the value and then throw. Just make it more reasonable and make it more comfortable, and don't make it like a problem. Like you know, make it and plan it. Like, so like there are some expensive games that I want to buy, and I'm like, I plan that shit. I'm like, I'm going to do this when I get my tax return, or I'm going to do this. I'm going to get it on my birthday. I'm going to buy one expensive PS1 game for myself on my birthday. And then I don't feel bad if I spend $150 on something. I really don't, because I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm gonna fucking get myself something I want, and this is something I wanted for a while, and I made this decision, and it wasn't compulsive. Like, you shouldn't be compulsive, or like if you feel like you don't have like a lack of self-control, you're just buying stuff compulsively. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Turn off the apps, delete that shit. Chop your Amazon card up for a while. Do what you got to do. Get off of the thing. Especially if you own a huge room full of games already.
Yeah.
Like, you have no psychological or logical reason to doing it. You have enough games to play forever. So
I have one rule.
You brought up expensive games, Joe, that made me think of games like Kuon is a really good example for this, or box Pokemon games, for example. So a lot of people want these games in their collection. I'm probably the same. You guys are probably all the same. We all love all the old original box Pokemon games, or Kuon or Ruler Rose. But I look at these type of games like almost like gold or silver or jewelry, or like, collectibles that people have for a rainy day. That's this type of thing, because the average person who gets into collecting will go for this type of stuff. And if you look on eBay from 2010 to today, there wouldn't have been a month where these games weren't on eBay. They're always on there, always for that price, because you got a lot of people who just have them for that rainy day. When they need that $500, they put their Kuon or their Pokemon Crystal on eBay and sell them. There's plenty of games that are genuinely rare and expensive that, like, you see it for sale and it's the only one that sells for years. I'm not talking about those games. I'm talking about the games that everyone knows they're expensive. Godzilla is another one, for example.
Symphony of the Night.
Yeah,
exactly. Like,
billion of them out there.
Exactly. There's a billion of them out there. Everyone knows they're expensive. They sell, 100 of them sell in a week on eBay. These are the things that, I don't break the bank over them. They're always going to be there. You can go into game shops and trade for them, because most retro game shops will have each of these games in their stores. And those are the ones that, do you really need them today, or can you wait for them? And you can. And then there's games, on the other hand, that don't show up and things like that. And I'm not going to say that for those games, because
there's the opposite of the coin,
They're
where there's games that if you see them in the for sale, you better buy them.
Yeah, exactly.
because you won't see them ever again. It's like
Yeah.
if I'm, if somebody down the street has a Tron Bon and it's reasonable, just go get it.
Yeah, exactly.
It ain't gonna
I had
show up.
the experience yesterday, actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had a friend from India message me with a copy of RA1. And in the
Oh,
last
dang.
9 months, I've had probably a dozen people all message me for this game. And it's the first time it's shown up. So it's like, all right, I got lots of people that are after it. I've sent a couple of PMs and looks like it's all gone already. So actually, if anyone wants a copy of that manual, send me a message because I might be able to hook you up with one.
Oh no, you should have told me that, Figley. But I have another rule too.
Perfect example, Alice. Perfect example. The Barbie game on the 3DS is
Yep.
going to be a game that people will buy when they've got a lot of money and they want a collectible. And down the line, when they need a lot of money, that'll be the first thing to go.
Yep.
Because it doesn't make sense for a lot of people to own a game that's worth thousands of dollars. It makes more sense to, fix the car or fix the bathroom up or, buy stuff you actually want or buy the kids Christmas presents, etc. Yeah, and if you really want that game, you can get it on the DS for $10. It's not the actual game that people want, which is an interesting thing to think of, right? Like, there's a $10 version and a $4,000 version, and they're exactly the same.
Yeah,
So it's
Stadium
not
is the same.
game that people are paying for; it's the scarcity.
And you got to ask why. Why do you want it? Why do
Yeah.
you want this game? Or is it because like I said, there are games that I get. Most games I get to play, and there are games I get to collect. So I do get that, but you got to ask yourself: are you compulsively doing that? Do you really need to do that? If you're going for a full set, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just get it. Sometimes you have to pay what, it is what it is. You have to pay for games you don't want.
Yeah.
I went through it with the PSVR. I understand. But if you're just like, I don't know, you see it in a store and you feel compelled, just to have it, just to show it off or something.
That's not the right reason. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that, especially now. Like, one thing is like, somebody out there has a better collection always. So who are you trying to impress? Like, what?
Exactly.
Why are you collecting? What's the point of it? Is it to impress other people? Is it to have something that makes you happy? For me, it's this stuff makes me happy. I come in and I see it, and I'm like, oh, I love these games. God damn, I love that game. I love that game. I love this game. I love that game. That's why I have it.
Yeah.
And like, I honestly, when people meet me, I'm like almost like I don't even want to mention it that I have.
Yeah.
This. I don't even want it because it makes me look crazy to most
It does.
people.
Yeah.
So it's not even something I don't flex on people about this at all. It's
Joe,
if you're into it, if you're into collecting, sure, check this out. But if you're not, I'm not bringing it up.
I have a funny story about getting into a collection. So about how the public sees it. So recently, due to life events, I don't want to get into that, but I had to move in with someone else. Me and my partner, we moved back in with our family. Nothing's wrong with us. We're all fine. But the awkward moment comes into play when I'm moving, I'm packing. Why there's so many video games? I collect. What do you really need? 200, 300, 400 games? And I was like, well, no, but it makes me happy. And these guys are 60s, 70s, and they look like I'm back, like I'm batting insane. And I was trying to downsize some, and I was about to go to the game store, and I had a big tote of games, and they go like, "Get rid of all your games." Like, nah, not even a little bit. And they just gave me this.
That's exactly. I did the same thing. I brought this huge box, and I looked at it. It doesn't even look like I. Tiny as
exactly. But they give me this look like I am mentally unwell. And my partner eventually told me that later on they go, he has a problem. He needs mental help.
Right.
Not knowing the concept. Like, if you're not a collector, you see that, you see people even with 200 games, and it looks insane. It looks absolutely preposterous. There's no reason for 200 games. Most people have a PlayStation, like 10, maybe 20 games. That's like the most people have.
I have I always look for guests for the show.
Yeah.
So I spend hours like combing through YouTube, looking up new channels, looking up new creators, trying to find people I think would be cool. And I can't tell you how many people's like, let me show you my collection. And it's like 30 games, 40 games. That's what most normal human beings consider a collection. It's
exactly.
like 30 or 40 games. And I'm over here. I have like, I don't know, like, God, maybe like I probably have close to 500 Switch games. And if you ask me if I collect a Switch, I'm like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Okay, well, I have some games. I casually, I mean, I buy some now and then, but
I'm not really into it.
Yeah, I'm not a Switch collector at all. I mean, I have some games, but then if I show people, they'll be like, "What the fuck? That's insane." I'm like, "No, it isn't." And that's also, I guess, doing this show for as long as I have has really changed my perspective on things. It's almost like I say to my girlfriend all the time, I'm like, I don't have a problem. Did you see that last guy?
Right. Like it has 15 variants of Just Dance.
Exactly. You think I'm crazy? That dude had like freaking 3 garages, true things, blah blah blah. He said he was telling his kid need to get a freaking copy of Dragon Ball or something. I don't even.
AJ, your story where you moved in with back into your parents reminded me of this video I just watched where it was the complete opposite. So it was like a generation, like a new kid. It was like a 17-year-old girl.
Yeah.
It was a TikTok, and she put all her mum's CD collection on the table. And she's like, why do you have all these CDs? Look, I've got them all on my phone, every single one. And they're trying to get the mum to sell her CD collection. She's like, but this is my favorite CD from 1989, and I went to this concert, and I just want to look at them all.
Yeah.
And, the kid couldn't understand.
No.
Why the mum wanted this collection, and I'm watching the video cringing, like, no, the mum's right. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, collectors are not. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Joe. Go ahead.
No, you're not. No, you go.
Collectors, man. You know, they're not. They don't just happen. Like you kind of have that bug, and people either do or don't. And it is really interesting if you're like my partner's not a collector either. She's a very casual gamer, which isn't a problem. But you know, she wouldn't even touch a copy of like, you know, something like Lunar, but she'll play Just Dance, which is great for her. It's fun, you know. But it's interesting, you know. It's interesting the dichotomy with collectors. Collectors, they don't just happen. You know, you're either born into it or you're not, and there's not much overlap. You don't just kind of create one. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, so, I agree. I collected things as a kid, even things that didn't have a monetary value. Like when I was a little kid, I used to walk into shops and always take a business card, and I had like 400 business cards, and I used to go through and like sort them in alphabetical order. And I had a business card collection, and I just did that as a kid, you know, because I like doing that, and I always had a lot of video games as a kid because I always like tried to get more, and that was I want to get as many as I can, many as I can, and if I got the chance to go to a garage sale and get a cheap one, I would. And you know, one of my favorite games as a kid I got for $1 at the markets, and that's a fond memory of mine. And it was on. I don't even think it was a real disc. I think it was like a burnt copy of the disc, a real case or anything. And actually, as a kid, I thought it was a PS1 game because it was in like a CD case. Mm-hmm. But later, as an adult, when I went to rebuy it, I found out it was a PS2 game.
So one of the things you said that I thought was really fascinating too about that story is like when the mom was talking about her CDs, she was saying like, no, this is the CD I bought in 1998, and I remember going to this concert, and I remember doing this. I don't think people understand, the kids that you know, like collecting physical objects is like sometimes a direct connection to the past, and it's a way to directly connect yourself to a fond memory.
Yeah.
So like there are games that I own from my childhood that aren't even good games, but I want them in my collection because I remember those fond memories of playing those games. And I remember that fun time I had with my friends, or I remember that fun time I had with my father or my brothers, or there's a memory attached to that game and to that experience that owning that thing is a way to like directly take me there, take me back. And like, in a way that like, I can't describe this to people. It's like those PlayStation magazines I've been collecting. I've been talking about looking through these things. Like these things are a time portal. Like, like, they are like, gosh, dude. Like I don't know. They hit me in the feels. And you know, no way your iPod's going to do that.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Your digital library it just doesn't.
You know, that's another interesting aspect about collecting that can be addicting is that nostalgia. You know, especially if like we have very positive memories of things as a kid. we as adults, we can get hooked to that because you don't have that same feeling of just coming home and popping in a game, whether it be something like an Atari game or even something as new as, let's say, God of War 3 or God of War Ragnarok even. If you're a kid growing up, that feeling coming home from school or having a very important moment in your life, it could be being in high school and you remember when you were, or you remember, oh, the same day I went out with my partner for the first time, I bought this game when I got home. Just having these positive memories as an adult, you don't get those in the same way. When when you become an adult, you have responsibilities, jobs, you know, you just can't go back in time that way. And so the nostalgia of, oh, I remember when I bought Silent Hill and I played that as a little kid with my dad, or whenever I got the SpongeBob game or whatever else it could be, that can be so addicting that you want to recreate that with new experiences, and that can make you lose track of what's going on as well. You know.
With that as well, AJ, I like. So I went back and bought my childhood collection, right? And I feel like
Yeah.
every game that I played as a kid, I do own today. But
So it
took
all
me
starts for
years
everybody.
to get that list together. Like I
Yeah.
didn't just remember every game I played. If Joe asked me, what are your favorite games? I could list off 20, 30, 40, maybe 100 games. But then I'll turn around and look through my collection. I'll be like, oh, I forgot this one. Oh, that one too. And
Yeah.
oh, this one. And like I love relating that to music is I loved music in the 2000s. I was so into music. And I've forgotten so many bands that I grew up with because I don't have the CDs anymore.
Yeah.
And not until like someone shows me their playlist, I'm like, oh, that. Like Joe was wearing an In Flames shirt the other day, and I remembered
Yeah.
In Flames. I've forgotten about this band for 15 years, and suddenly they're on my playlist again. But there's so many music artists I've just
Yeah.
forgotten about because I've moved on to that digital world.
Yeah.
But video game collecting, I can always look at my collection and have that, oh, I remember that. And
Yeah.
I might want to play it again, but just knowing that I had a good time with those games is a special feeling to me. And
Okay.
I think that's what like that mum wanted to recreate with her CDs is,
Yeah.
she mightn't ever listen to them again, but she might know what to listen to on her iPhone, look at her CD collection and be like, that's what I want to listen to today.
Exactly.
And start playing it on her iPhone.
Yeah, CDs sound better than digital music, just so you guys know.
I got a CD in my car still.
Hey, dude, CDs on a nice stereo are going to sound infinitely better than your stupid, shitty compressed MP3s.
I would even argue better than vinyl if done right.
Of course, and
Yeah.
vinyl is absolutely not. They had these CDs. They were called like super CDs or super audio CDs. That
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah.
Those are actually like the best quality like music you can buy because it's all about frequencies.
Yeah.
The frequency range on those
You know-
is insane. It's like negative a million hertz to like
Yeah.
positive a billion hertz.
Did
And
you
so,
know the
like,
launch? Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
there'll be my point is like on like if on certain CDs like that, if you have that super expanded like range and you put on headphones, you will literally hear things that you have never heard before in songs.
Yeah.
You'll be like, "There's a clarinet in this song. What the hell?
Right.
What the hell?" Like, you'll hear shit you have never heard before in the
Yeah.
music because you won't see it.
Did you know the PS3 launch model, the 60 gig?
That's better, yeah.
It actually the launch model PS3 could actually play those.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
believe
cool. I
it.
wasn't aware of that. Sony were like the PS1 and the PS2 were great.
The
music
PS3 could do everything. It had like 15
Dude.
memory card slots and freaking. It was
It's a great-
insane.
It's a great Blu-ray player. Even this very day, the PS3, in my opinion, is one of the best Blu-ray players.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, that's what it was sold for at the time. The same with the PS2, and the PS1. PS1 at the time was a CD player. The PS2 got sold as a DVD player. PS3,
Everybody's first DVD
we're a
player.
Blu-ray. It's such a good marketing strategy that they did for 3 generations.
Oh
The
yeah.
PS2 was like 90% of us
Cheapest
is
DVD
first
player.
DVD player. Like
Oh, it was
almost
mine.
everybody, because it was back then. Like I think it was like $200 for the PS2, and to buy a DVD player was like $250, $300. So
That's
it was
how
like, guys, this is no brainer. It's like, why would you know? You could, first of
Yeah.
all, none of us had that money.
Mhm.
And so if you for $200, if you get something that plays PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 1 games, and DVDs, hell yeah, that was
Oh, yeah.
that was the best.
I
That's
remember
how-
owning a PS1, and
Yeah.
it would have been like April or something. We got the PS1, and then that Christmas we got the PS2 because obviously it just made sense to my parents.
Yeah.
Looking into DVDs, yeah, they're cheaper at the video shop,
Mhm.
and oh, this system's only what $200-300, and yeah, it makes sense to buy one. It's not
Yeah.
like the whole family can't use it because they can.
That's
How
what
many
convinced my
people
mom and
here,
dad to buy one.
How many people here watched Lord of the Rings 50,000 times on their PS2?
Harry Potter,
Lord of
yeah.
the Rings, dude. I watched so many times.
My mom and dad, they were bad about buying burn copies of DVDs. Back before pirating was like easily accessible. So I remember I talked them into buying a PS2 just so we could watch new movies. I remember we had a collection of 100 plus like illegally burned copies of these games back, not games but movies back in the day. PS2 for years was our family's DVD player. I don't know how many times I heard my dad, AJ, unplug your PS2, bring it in the living room. We're watching movies. So
I got something funny to show you guys. So I remember back in the day where Tomb Raider first came out, there was rumors going around that there was a cheat code that could get Lara Croft naked.
yeah,
Mhm.
Well, anyway, this was from a magazine. So it was a magazine ad for the Explorer cheater. And basically they said that if you buy this $200 device and type in this code that's like 400 digits wrong, the cheat works.
that's great.
I'm sure they sold hundreds of those devices just from that one ad.
Shit, do I have it? I have one of those cheats for PS1. I don't know if it's that one or Game Shark, though.
People are apparently really enjoying the Lara Croft remaster experience. So it's pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, hopefully it gets a physical release, the bastards.
Yeah.
They when they originally announced it, they said that they were planning on a physical, and they were even like listings on all these websites you can buy it, and they're all gone.
That sucks.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna purchase that right away. I'm not letting the FOMO get me. I'm going to wait and see if a physical comes out, and then I will buy the physical. And you know what? I probably won't even buy it when it first comes out. I'll probably wait till it's on sale. That's how I roll. There's no rush, but this is also why I'm like a huge, I'm really against the all digital future, man. Because the way I like to do things, I won't be able to. Like somebody showed me the other day that if you want to buy Forspoken in Australia, it's digitally, it's 120 Australian still. If you want to buy Forspoken,
that's crazy.
You can buy a physical copy in the US for like $19.99.
No, if I want to buy Baldur's Gate, it's like $200 because I got to import a copy from overseas, and like I want Baldur's Gate free, but I'm not paying $200 for a physical copy. Like that's just ridiculous.
Especially when it's like probably 10 gigs are on the disc and it's already 70 gig download.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell's
I read a very interesting YouTube comment on one of my videos the other day about the future with that type of stuff, and he brought up GTA 6, and I 100% agree with the comment. He said, I think GTA 6 will have a physical disc. It won't be when the game comes out. The game will come out digitally. They'll get everyone to buy it digitally. And 6 months later, they'll put out a physical, and all those collectors will double dip. And I probably will. And he's spot on. So, that
I'm
way
fine with
you
that.
get what they want, and they get double the money. And can see that happening. So,
yeah, but I have like literally zero desire to buy these games that are like a tenth of the game is on the disc. Like I don't see that as a physical game anymore. Like I've tried to explain this. Like my PS5 collection is very small because I can't justify 90% of the games that are released on it. I don't want this. It's not on there. It's a waste of my time.
Yeah. Even a lot of the PS4 stuff's like that. Like,
exactly.
I can't remember the last time I played a PS4 game where there wasn't an update or there wasn't a patch and the game just worked. Yeah. Switch games, plenty of my Switch games, you put them in, they just start working. No downloads needed, nothing. But PS4, it's like, this one too, this one too, this one as well.
That's probably why I mostly migrated from the PS4 and 5 to the Switch,
Yep.
That's why I still think PS1 and PS2 are like the most desirable to collect because they're just all on the discs.
I'd argue PS3, but only if you're not counting like the biggies like Skyrim.
Because PS3 is not so bad.
Like that. And then PS3 have the thing where they use Blu-rays, so we don't have to worry about disc rot and things like that, which isn't really a thing, but in 30 years it might be more of a thing, Well,
Yeah.
never heard of Discworld with
Yeah.
Blu-rays.
In regards to Blu-rays, though, there is one thing, and that's the data layer on those is very fragile. So if you have like one of those jerks who takes his disc and like puts it, label side up on a tabletop, I've seen loads of PS3 games that have scrapes where the data layer is completely gone because of that kind of thing. I used to have a copy of Spider-Man Web of Shadows, and I would say 1/4 of the play service was just gone. The artwork was flaked off because of that exact issue. So Blu-rays do have their own issues for sure.
I hate when people like have stacks of PS3 games and they're just all stacked together. It's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
So
Hey
I heard
guys,
we had
would you like
a
to,
vile quiz. Yeah.
would you like to play the Figsy quiz?
Let's
Sure.
do it.
Let's do it.
Oh god. Well, this might be the last podcast, guys, because this quiz is a little bit raunchy. Before we get cancelled, let's get into chat's question for the week. So chat, here is your question for the week. Need you guys to name the full video game title.
What? I don't know, but I wish we could combine all of these things into one movie.
I mean, they did for a video game, right? All right, guys, let's get into the quiz. So, Pavel made this one. The next quiz, I'm going to get you guys. I don't even want to say it. I'm going to get you guys to name the 30 most searched Pornhub video games in 2023.
So what was that one more time?
You guys are going to be naming the 30 most searched Pornhub video games in 2023, according to a graph that Pavel sent me. So what I'm going to do is, because it might be a little bit tricky, is I'm going to show you guys.
Oh no.
What up? I'm going to show you guys the letters of them all, and as you get one right, I will type the name in. Let me just put it. All right, so how it's going to work is you'll be taking turns. You each have 5 strikes. We've included franchises as one game, so you don't have to name Call of Duty 3, 4, 5. It's just Call of Duty. And yes, yeah, let's get into it. So, AJ, would you like to go first?
Sure.
I still don't get what we're doing. I'm supposed to be guessing
You
I'm not
guys-
seeing any
video
letters.
games people are looking up on Pornhub.
People are looking up on Pornhub video game searches.
I'm not seeing any letters. You said they give us the letters, or
Oh, okay, let me make it bigger. Sorry. Oh, shit.
Oh, okay. I still can barely see them, but that's okay. All right.
And yeah, it's pretty much every letter, but once we get into it, it'll really.
All right.
narrow.
I guess my guess would probably be Super Mario Brothers.
I'll give you a point because Super Mario is on the list.
I mean, considering there's an unofficial, never mind. All right. Cool.
All right, Joe, you're up.
So I know Overwatch was quite a popular thing on Pornhub for a while.
Overwatch is on the list.
So why do some of them have parentheses? Does that mean like that's
So
just
the
there's only one in
parenthesis
the O?
is the letter O. So there's only one for O.
Okay, so there isn't another one. All right, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
All right. This already.
Bunch of freaks.
Yeah. Seriously. Let's see. G. Is there?
This is like the 70th quiz, right?
Um,
Digging the barrel for ideas at this point.
I wonder how
Grand Theft Auto.
Pavel came across this list.
Yeah, right.
I've seen similar things on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
Grand
Theft
Theft
Auto's mine.
Auto is not on the list.
Oh.
Takes the first strike. Joe?
You sick people. There's so many funny things I want to say. I don't know. What would people actually be looking up? I would say Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat on the list.
There's a lot of hot babes in Mortal Kombat I'd look up. Let's go.
Joe takes another point. AJ, you're up.
I don't know why, but I'm
want to see
thinking Crash
Baraka
Bandicoot.
slam. I'm scared.
Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot is not on the list.
You're,
AJ,
into, you're into the weird shit,
Dude.
AJ, it's not even on the list.
he's like, what? That's my favorite.
He wants to see the ooga ooga.
It shows up every time I'm on the hub.
Dead or Alive has to be on there. Dead or Alive, God,
Yeah.
that game practically is porn.
Dead or Alive is not on the list.
Really?
I will just remind you guys, this is the 30 most popular. So they might be popular like because it's sexy, but these are the most popular games. So you're going to see more popular stuff than risque stuff. AJ?
Gosh. Let's see.
My face is pale because I got two white screens next to me right now.
I guess if I had to guess, probably Call of Duty.
Call of Duty's on there. I don't know
What?
who's
Wait.
looking it up. But
Captain
people
Bryce reporting for duty.
Price and soap.
Let's drop a payload, hey boys.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
All right, I know this is disgusting, but I'm going to say Sonic the Hedgehog because people are fucking.
Oh, I should have thought of that one. I should have thought of that
Gotta
one.
be on there.
Yeah.
Sonic is not on the list.
What?
Takes a second strike.
Get out of here.
Dude, that does not feel right. Like
I mean, it does feel right. I didn't want it on there.
what I mean is like
I bet
Sonic
there's a bunch
stuff is
of furry
everywhere.
freaks out there. I
Dude,
bet it is.
seriously.
Looking up the-
Yeah.
the Sonic Chew. All right, I'm glad. In a way, I'm kind of glad don't have my finger on the pulse of the.
And again, I'll
Yeah.
remind you guys,
Gaming
more
porn
popular
community.
IPs are the ones that are on the list. So
Sonic's popular, bitch.
Yeah, well, yeah, right.
not on Pornhub.
Gotta go fast. Never mind.
Maybe for like the short section, it would have been on there.
Yeah.
That's not a chili dog.
AJ, you're up.
All right. Dude, I know so little about this kind of thing. I guess for L, Last of Us.
Last of Us is not on the list.
Oh, okay.
3 strikes. Joe, you're up.
I gotta say, there's gotta be if the freaks ain't looking up Sonic, they gotta be looking up Pokemon, baby.
Oh, I
Come
didn't think of
on,
that
who's
one.
not-
On the list, of course.
Just because of the what's her name alone. Mandy, what's her name? I can't remember the girl.
Misty, right?
Misty, yeah. I'm pretty sure that was like the beginning of like 90% of people's hentai addictions in the world. So
All right, AJ, you're up.
gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon.
Let's see. Can I cheat and say it's an IP so that's not video games but has lots of video games in it?
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but it
Okay.
might be on the list.
Yeah.
You say whatever you want. Doesn't mean we're giving you a point.
I'm just already running out of ones to think
James
of.
Bond, the movies.
Exactly. GoldenEye, that counts. But no, in all seriousness, God of War.
God of War is on the list.
God of War.
All right, guys. The scores are now leveled at 3 apiece. AJ's got 3 strikes. Joe's got 2. Joe, you're up.
I have to think Tomb Raider's on there.
Dude, I was just about to say. I was
we
just
were
about
just
to
talking
say.
about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like your boobs got to be on there.
Tomb Raider's on the list.
Nice.
Let's see.
Joe takes the lead. AJ, you're
Let's
up.
go.
All right. Is there okay, Minecraft?
I don't know why, but Minecraft's on the list.
What?
People are weird, bro.
Why?
At least you're thinking about the right games now.
Oh, dude,
Joe,
I'm a
you're up.
little morbidly curious what the fuck Minecraft porn is. I'll be honest with you, Leo. Do you build like a contraption? Or is it like the little green dudes fucking? Like, I don't even know. Whoa,
They're called-
wow.
Hey, they're called
Tomb
creepers for a
Raider
reason.
makes sense, right? But
Yeah,
Minecraft.
yeah. But guys, they're called creepers for a reason, obviously.
That's funny. Can you scroll up a little bit? Can I look at some of the other letters? Can we look up a little bit? We got a bunch of A's, C's, bunch of A's. What would be an A? Bunch of C's. F. Final Fantasy? No, is that what you said? Final Fantasy? F?
Final Fantasy's on the list.
Because I'd look up Tifa. Personally, I would actually watch that. Actually, that's one of the things I got to say about that. Final Fantasy 16. There's like a character named Benedicta. Like whoever designed her, well done. Well done. I was a fan. I was a huge fan of Benedicta. Like legitimately, I'm like, I think I have a crush on a video game character. I don't think this just happened to me since I was 10 years old. Bitch is freaking hot. So anyway.
All right, AJ, you're up. Maybe Joe's the one looking up this stuff, guys.
My guess is Assassin's Creed.
I'm going to be the one after the show looking up some of this. Sorry, what was your answer? Sorry, what did you say?
You're good. Assassin's Creed.
That's a good one.
Assassin's Creed is not on the list.
Oh, that was a good one.
Dude, that's surprising.
All right, I'm going to be weird.
Now, just to remind you guys, this list is from 2023 only.
Okay.
There wasn't a new Assassin's Creed game in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, these are just games that came out in 2023?
No. This is just from 2023. So if a game wasn't popular in 2023, it's probably not going to be on there.
Okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm saying D is Donkey Kong.
He is not Donkey Kong.
It should be.
All right, AJ, I just want to remind you that if you get another strike, you will be out.
Oh,
All right.
shit. So think about it. Think carefully.
Fortnite.
Hang on.
Don't waste it on
Press
fucking.
AJ has never lost a quiz before.
No, I lost one once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, there goes that suspense. Was it a loss?
Well,
Or was it
there goes that suspense. Never mind.
How about you're undefeated? Oh, well.
My guess is Fortnite.
Good guess.
Fortnite is correct, of course.
It's a good one.
Biggest game in the world, of course it's going to be on the list.
Don't know why I didn't think of that one earlier.
The scores are tied at 5 apiece. Joe, you're up.
I'm going to say Solid Snake. Extra solid. Metal Gear Solid. Let's go. No whammies.
Metal Gear Solid is not the third M game that's missing.
Ah.
And you'll understand why when you see the other one that's there.
I'm sure.
All right, AJ, you're up.
All right. Could you go to the bottom of the list real quick? Okay. Let's see. I guess I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say Apex Legends. I have no idea. I know that's a very popular game series.
Apex
good.
Legends is on the list.
Nice job. I'm gonna say
You're up, Joe.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil is on the list.
Nice.
Oh,
I would definitely look up Ava Wong.
yeah.
Or
The
whatever.
scores are tied at 6 apiece. Both opponents have got 4 strikes each. AJ, you're up.
This is intense. This is the funniest quiz I've ever done, man.
Right, I love it.
It's really good.
It
It's
is.
really good, dude. Like,
It really is.
I'm really literally going around like, what would I jack off to? What kind of quiz is this? We know now. I know AJ picked Crash Bandicoot, so I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like worse to pick one that's not on there because then you're the weirdo.
It's like I read Pikmin. Why? What the fuck, dude? This is so funny.
Oh man, this is great.
This is so funny.
You're up, AJ.
Think what else could we get here? Could you go back to the?
I said Donkey Kong for the record.
And Sonic
All right, Sonic was like an educated guess. Donkey Kong
and
was just
Pokemon.
weird.
Now we know how you
Pokemon
go, Joe.
was on there. Pokemon was on there. I got a point for Pokemon.
Even still, though, there's weirdly a lot of animal creatures in there.
Sure, hey, I said Misty, not freaking Pikachu.
All right, so
Pokemon's not just on there. It was actually number 3 on the list. So
Yeah, see? Pokemon.
let's see. I can't think of anything else. Trying to think here.
I will allow a pass at this point. You can have 1 pass each.
All right, I think I'll take a pass for now.
Oh, what the fuck? Now you're just giving up passes? I'm going to go with one I think that's... I'm going to go with Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda's on the list.
Oh, wait, hang on. Did you count under Z or did you count under T? Because I was looking at Z.
Zelda. That's how it was.
Well, darn.
AJ, you're up.
No
passes.
Yeah, already.
Unless you want to complain more, Joe, and we'll take that point back and go back to AJ.
No! We're good.
No, I like the pass. It was a good idea after all.
Let's see. All right.
I am I've never been wanted to see
I'm going to pick, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I'm going to go with the Souls series, so either Dark Souls or Demon Souls.
Not on the list.
All right.
Now out of the game. Joe.
Yeah, that was fun.
This is fun. I was going to go for a D game, too. Now you made me forget what I was going to say. Fuck.
Of course, went for the D.
What was I just going to say? All right, well, let's move on to maybe not D. 2023. Is there G? I'm going to say Genshin Impact.
Oh,
Genshin Impact is on the list.
Yeah, that's definitely a pervy game. Good for me.
dude.
All right, Joe, AJ's out, so you're up.
Shoot, man. Resident Evil. I keep it none of the S's. We gotta think about S's for a second. What could be an S game? Smash Bros.
not on the list.
Ah,
And Joe is now out. So I can know the final score. AJ finished on 6 points, but today's winner out on 8 points is Joe Rad.
the perv master.
Yeah, exactly. Joe, I'll let you have this win. You deserve this.
Yes, honestly, you should be more proud you didn't win.
Now, this might be fun or not, but I have the answers and I've got some photos.
Oh no! Oh no!
All right,
Really
this is why we're
answers
getting banned. This is why we're getting banned.
So here's the full list. Fortnite out on top, Overwatch. You guys missed Atomic Hearts.
Oh,
I would never have guessed that.
League of Legends. Oh, GTA 5
League of
was there.
Legends.
What? I'm sorry, AJ. I ripped you off of a point.
well then I guess the tie.
No, you still lost by a point, though. You're 2 points behind.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Cyberpunk was on there. Sims 4, Street Fighter.
Street Fighter. Why the hell did I think of Street
Which,
Fighter?
Dude, right?
Skyrim.
Sims.
Mass
I knew it.
Splatoon, you disgusting.
Oh my god, that's awful. That's awful.
That's got to be nasty.
Detroit Become Human, we had Among Us, Red Dead Redemption, Cuphead. Look, most of them are just the most popular games, but then some of them are kind of weird.
Detroit Become Human, really? Wow.
So I have checked all the photos out. Shouldn't get banned on YouTube for this, but touch wood.
Yeah. In theory.
I think that is from
Baldur's Gate, maybe.
Atomic Heart? Baldur's Gate, maybe?
No, Atomic Heart's like a Russian post-apocalypse. That's probably from Atomic Heart. They get that
That
Russian
makes
stars on their head. That looks good to me. That's Among Us. That's Among Us. Looks sus. Looks sus.
Cyberpunk?
I'm guessing.
Call of Duty? Scottbrathers.com down the bottom.
That's just a good.
I'm going to stop showing these.
No, go on, keep going, keep going.
I like The Witcher and things like
Yeah,
that.
that's fine. The Witcher's normal.
Yeah.
Come on, man, keep it going. These are great. Come on.
The whole podcast with these images in the background.
Show.
Yeah.
Everyone get the chat question.
I think somebody did. I think Mario did.
Let's have a look.
Way in the back. I think.
All right.
Unless he was wrong. God, that was funny, dude.
Oh, dude, that was one of the best questions ever.
Mario did nail chat's question. Well done, Mario.
What was the answer?
It was Akira Psycho Ball.
Oh,
So
I knew there was a
pinball.
Kira game. Yeah.
And thanks for playing, guys. That was fun.
Oh yeah,
That was really fun.
really funny, man. Really funny.
I love Akira. I just bought the 4K UHD.
Dude, that movie was
It's
insanely
not
good.
good as well, but yeah, Mario was first in that one.
Yep.
And the answer came from Twitch too, so they don't see each other's comments, you know.
Yeah. Would you like to?
Yeah, you guys got any pickups to show off?
Sure do.
I haven't got many. I'm just going through my PS1 collection like I have been for the last few shows. So today we're up to C, or we're halfway through the C game. So let's continue where we left off. I think the last series I showed was Crash Bandicoot. So we move on to another platforming series, and that is the Croc Legend of the Gobos. For me, Croc wasn't as big as like Spyro or Crash or anything. It's still a pretty fun series on PS1.
Love Croc.
I
I'm
need
a
to
Croc
play that
fan.
series still.
Croc stan. I love Croc.
And of course, can't have Croc 1 without having Croc 2. I kind of the way I collect is if a game has multiple games on the one system, I like to get them all, and that's how I like to collect myself.
Yeah. If there's 3 games, even if one of them's terrible, I'll get all 3 of them.
Yeah, 100%. Next, we have Crusaders of Might and Magic. Blood Pumping Action.
Blood.
I didn't know they got a PS1. That's interesting. Is that
Yeah,
exclusive to-
I actually love the Heroes of Might and Magic series, so I'd kind of just pick this up.
Is it exclusive?
of that game?
That's the
Is
3D.
it exclusive to PAL?
Possibly. Worth looking into. I can't confirm because obviously I got no idea if there's an American copy or not. Next game is Siberia. And I believe this is like a spaceship kind of like mission game where you fly around in space and destroy shit. which was really big in the 90s. So there's plenty of those games on PS1, and they were kind of fun. Like for me as a kid, this was the most sci-tech games out there, and I have like really fun memories of like seeing video games, but then seeing games like this and being like, oh, that's the future of gaming, and that's so cool. And I remember PC. I remember being around the computer guy's shop, and he's showing me this game that he's going to put on the PC. And when I got home, I tried to play it, and my PC wasn't strong enough to run it, so I didn't get to like play it for like 5 years later.
Oh, that's awful.
Next we have Cyber Tiger. A bit of a fun golf game.
That's gotta be like
Aged really well.
well, no, I mean that's before he actually got Tiger Woods Golf with EA. It must be like
Yeah. That would have been like 1999, 2000. He was still like world champion and stuff.
Which are the only sports games I do collect. So you know, I freaking love golf games. Love
I like
golf
games too.
They are fun.
I have every Tiger game from PS1 to PS3,
Nice.
and they didn't come out on PS4. There was only Rory.
I
McIlroy.
prefer Everybody's Golf to Tiger Woods.
Nope. I mean, I like everybody's golf, but Tiger Woods golf is the balls, dude.
You know,
Especially
Joe,
on PS3. God,
That begs the question, though, Joe. Do you have the very rare variant of one of the Tiger Woods games that has the South Park, short on it?
I'm not doing no rare variants.
Do you know about that? Do you know about that story?
No.
One where the developer like hit it in there and it didn't get
Yeah. But there's basically when South Park was like before a show, but it was in the early development phases. Someone at EA got one of the shorts and actually put it on the disc for one of the early Tiger Woods games.
That's pretty sick.
Next one is a horror game. Don't have many horror games in my PS1 collection, mainly because I'd never owned any as a kid because I was a little kid on the PS1, and they're all like $200-$300 games. So I'm not just gonna like buy a couple of $100 game that I'm not nostalgic for or anything. But I did pick this one up cheap, and it is D.
Nice.
And it's one of the few games that has this big double pack, which is pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure it's a dual disc game.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, one disc there. That's a free disc. That's pretty cool.
Interesting. I think the Saturn version of that game is like 2 disc. I have the Saturn copies on the PS1 version.
I couldn't tell you much about it. I've never played it before, but I know it's getting up there in price. So I'm glad I picked this one up when I did. I think I got it for like $40 or something back in the day. Yeah, that's all I got today. We will move on with some more D games in the next episode.
You want to go next, Joe, or?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go next. So I got a lot of stuff actually. First thing I picked up is Fire Emblem Conquest on the 3DS.
Nice.
Sealed copy.
I had that in the collector's edition, but I sold it because it was like $800 collector edition. And I'm like, it's not worth that.
Yeah, I'm not going after the collector's edition, but I did want to have all of the Fire Emblems on the 3DS, and I thought I did, but apparently I didn't have this one, so it's the last one I needed to complete the little Fire Emblem set here. So,
Have you got the one from the collector's edition as well?
these are the ones I have. So if I'm missing anything, you let me know.
So the way it was sold, you could only get that game in the collector's edition. That's why.
So then I don't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Like, yeah, when I was selling it, people were messaging me privately, like offering me ridiculous amounts just for the game. I'm like, well, I don't want the box and the collector's edition because that's the reason I'm selling it. I'd rather just keep the game myself.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't need no crazy. I like Fire Emblem, but I'm not that into it. Those games actually piss me off because they have the permadeath, and that's tough psychologically to deal with.
That's what's kept me from getting into the series.
You can. I literally would just like reset the fight every time I freaking lost somebody. Like I would not let people die. I'd try to beat the whole game without anybody dying, but after a while it just gets frustrating and it's not worth the effort. So, but anyway, I like those games. I was a huge Shining Force fan when that came out on the Genesis. I freaking loved that game to death. So Fire Emblem was kind of like the next best thing for me. This is Triggerheart Excelica.
Nice.
Sorry, this was like a PS2 and Dreamcast shmup. Got released in Japan. I don't think it got a Western release. I could be wrong. Maybe it got a Dreamcast release in the West. I'm not sure, but I know it got released in Japan. So this is the Japanese copy. If you want an English copy, VG Plus has them for sale right now. Video Games Plus. They had like a special collector's edition, 500 copies, but that's sold out right now. But they do have the standard edition if you want it. And then I believe, is it Red Art Games? I can't remember. I think it's Red Art Games, but I could be wrong. But I think there's also a PAL release for this too that you can get. So I no longer give a crap about. I just want the game. If I can play it, I can play it. So I just got the Japanese copy because it's in my hand. I don't have to wait, and I can play it, and I'm cool with that. And like I said, I don't know. I think having the Japanese games on the shelf looks cool as shit.
Oh yeah. It's always
Except
fun
when
to
I
have
need-
imports.
Except when I need to find a game. And I have
Oh,
to
that's
go,
the word.
Is it this one? 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 Is it? I have no idea. I'm not learning any of that. That's all squiggly. That's all squiggly nonsense to me. So this one I picked up is on cheap. It was on sale this week for $19.99 on Amazon, and it's $19.99 at Best Buy.
Is that a sequel to the what was that game?
It's not a sequel to any game.
Okay. It looks like the game.
Looks
that
like
came
Hot
out-
Shot. Yeah, it looks like Hot Shot Racing or any of those.
Yeah,
like,
that's it. Hot Shot Racing.
But it's not. This is its own game. It's Formula Retro Racing World Tour Special Edition.
It's like they even
And-
use the same logo and colors on the front.
Yeah, it's like that vintage, like almost like Atari, I would say, vibe aesthetically, like Pole Position or something like that. But people have compared it to like a Sega GT or a Daytona or something like that for the gameplay.
Okay.
I haven't popped it open and played it yet, but it looks fun. I love arcade racing games. I absolutely freaking love arcade racing games. Like, I'm not into like super hard technical sim games that you actually have to like know how to drive. Nah, screw all that. But I do like arcade things where you can smash into the wall and flip people and shoot them off the track and go over jumps and shoot missiles and shit. Like, I don't like realistic racing. I like goofy crap. But anyway, I'm a big fan of these games, and for $19.99, I would definitely want to play this. So it's Formula Retro Racing. This finally went on sale. I've been waiting to pick this up, but I finally did grab
Nice.
No.
Rhapsody Marl Kingdom Chronicles. This is a release of the second and third game of the series. First time it was released in the West with English. It's also available on the Switch.
You know what kills me is there's no PS4 port of the first game.
Correct. So on the first game, the only way to purchase it is you can buy the PS1 game, which goes for like $80 to $120 ish, something like that. Which I actually think I might pick the copy of that up because I don't own that on PS. I have like every other PS1 RPG. Might as well get that one too now that I own this. But if you want to, if you care, or if you don't care, the first game did get released on the Switch in a compilation. What's called the Prinny Classics. It got released with another game, like on a compilation.
Yeah.
And this did get released on the Switch too. This right here, so you could get all three games on the Switch if you want to.
There's also a DS port of Rhapsody as well.
Is that the same? Is that its own game, or is that like a?
Oh
No, that's not what it was. There's a tactics game on the PS2 called La Pucelle Tactics.
Yeah. No, that also got a port to the Switch too.
That's a spin-off of this game.
Yeah.
Like a tactics game. Were you going to say something else, sir?
Oh no, I was saying that there's also a DS port of the first Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played that, but dude, the DS got some badass RPGs, dude. Like,
Dude.
And it's region free, so it
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
got some cool stuff throughout the world. Like
The ironic, it's ironic then that I can't see the DS well enough to play it, so I might just start emulating a lot of that stuff.
Because that's a system I slept on. I didn't really collect for, and now that I've kind of looked into it, oh fuck me, dude! Like the Dragon Quest games are outrageous. But a lot of games got like a release on the DS that like only got released on the DS. So there'll be like a lot of like games that they'll have a game in the series you'd never heard of, and that's because it was on
Yeah.
the, like Valkyrie Profile has a game on the DS. That I don't
Nino
know.
Cooney has a game on the DNS.
Correct, exactly. That's what I mean. There's a lot of installments and franchises that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. And
There's like a remake of a Final Fantasy game that's 3D. It's like a 3D. It's a 3D remake of one of the 2D ones, but it's only on the DS.
probably
That's
I
cool.
don't know. Like I remember like Dragon. Well, yeah. I don't want to make any of those games more expensive. Let's not talk about those. So
Dragon in the name, guys.
I also got
Yeah. What's up, man?
Smurfs 2: The Prisoner of the Green Stone.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, that's the sequel to
Fun.
the other Smurf, like the Vileaf game or whatever.
Yeah.
They're fun. They're like little 3D action platformer games.
Oh, really? They Oh, well then.
Yeah, they're cute. They got good graphics. They look like fun. And
I thought it was one of those. I thought it was one of the Kong kind of situations.
No, it's like a 3D action, like collectathon type thing.
Oh, that's cool.
It looks dope. I'm glad to pick it up. So I have the Smurfs Vileaf, I have the Smurfs 2, and I have the Smurf Kart Racings, and I have the Smurf Trifecta.
Nice. Apologies on accidentally dissing. I wasn't trying to. My apologies there, man.
No, you're good, man. And then God, I ordered this from PlayAsia. It took them forever to send this. I don't know why, but I finally got my Infinity Strash Dragon Quest.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh, it's Dragon Quest.
Yeah, so this is speaking of Dragon Quest, this is a spin-off Dragon Quest game based off of the anime Infinity Strash. I think who's talking about it? I think Joel from Media Glitchers was talking about this the other day. I can't remember on this or what it is. I don't remember. Everything's a blur in my mind. This is not available in the West. You can only get it from Asia and Japan. This is the Japanese copy. It does have English.
Nice.
But there is also a Asian region one that has English. That's a little more expensive than this one. And I think it has like, an English spine if you want a full English spine instead of a Japanese spine. So yeah, these games are dope. It's kind of expensive though for what it is. But yeah, if you like Dragon Quest, I would get it. If you like action RPGs, I would get it. If you like to collect weird regional PlayStation 4 games, I would get it because it didn't get released in the West. It's a dope game. So speaking of games that you want to wait and you just gotta wait and you just gotta wait and you just gotta wait, I finally picked up Dead Island 2.
Nice.
Day 1 edition.
Nice.
It's on sale
It hasn't
right
even
now.
been out a year yet, so you really don't have to wait that long.
$30, $29.99. That's my price point for most of the games. Like this has been a $70 game for like a year and a half. It's been forever, dude. That's finally dropped down. The PS2 copy, PS2. The PS4 copy, the PS5 copy are both like $30, I think. Right now. And then they probably have like collector's editions and other versions and stuff, but the Day 1 edition for $29.99. Hell yeah. So I'm pretty excited to pick this up because like I said, there's no real rush for me to get it.
I personally was more of a Dead Rising fan than Dead Island.
I like both of those franchises.
Oh yeah, Dead Rising is so much fun.
Dead Rising is a blast, and Dead Island was a blast. I love Dead Island. All right, so my big pickup for the week, which this is oh no, I gotta show this off to you, right? Did I get this? No, that was from last time. All right, so this is for me some holy grail stuff. I have been after this for a really long time, and I got to give a shout out to Christian Sido, who watches the show. He hooked me up, friend from Germany, to get this game. I was having a real hard time getting this, but he finally helped me get a copy of Silver Chains on the PS4.
Very nice.
Nice, man.
So this is like I said, this is holy grail type stuff for me. This is a PS4 horror game that only get released in Germany. So if you look in the back, it's all, Willkommen in meiner Manor. It's all in German. Silver Chains ist ein First-Person Horror Exploration Spiel. I don't know how to speak German. It plays in English, though. I don't know if it's a patch or if it's on the disc. I'm not sure, but I know it plays in English. But like this game, it only get released in Germany, and it's like never for sale on eBay. There's like one copy on eBay. It's like $150. The guy's asking for it, and it's just impossible to get. If you try to look it up and buy it, there's like only sellers in Germany, and they don't sell them to Americans. And they won't ship them out of Germany. It's a pain in the ass. The only way I was able to get this is Christian. I was watching the show, and I've heard me crying and whining about it because I'm trying to get this game for so long, but I'm like, I'm not paying $150. Like, I'm not doing that. There's no way. When I know it's still available in stores in Germany, like you could still get it. You know what I mean? There's no way. If this was like a game of 20 years, sure, whatever. But I knew this was available, and so basically, like he found a listing on Amazon Germany's Amazon site or whatever. And he let me put his address in so I could buy it and ship it to his address. And then I paid him the money and had him mail it to my house in America. So that's how hard it was for me to get this stupid game. And, but I got to say, dude, I am so grateful. Thank you so much for helping me. I can't say that enough, dude. Like, this is like, literally.
Yeah, made with stuff before. He's really awesome, and he's awesome part of the community. And he's also got a YouTube channel, guys. I'll put the link below so you guys can check it out.
It's good too. He's got like amazing like quality, like his camera quality and his editing and everything is like really good. He's also very knowledgeable. He knows a lot about subsets and stuff like that. Like he had made a video about the Let's Sing.
Yeah, I'll just about to bring that up quickly so you guys can see it. I'll play it for like 10 seconds so you guys can get an idea of what type of content he puts out. If you like this podcast, you're going to like this type of content because it's very similar.
Yeah, exactly.
And collectors. My name is Chris. Welcome to PlayStation.
Look at that jacket. The thing is fire.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That jacket's fire, bro.
So cool. Can you guys hear that when I played it?
Yeah, we heard it.
Today we will talk about the PlayStation Sync series and songs included. On the first view, it seems there's only a little difference.
Yeah, so he's got.
There are also included two separate microphones.
He's been contacting me at information, so he's going to be doing series on different PS3 sets and other PS4 sets, and yeah, some really cool content. So be sure to drop him a sub size. He's only got 18 subs. I know there's 20 of you watching, so we can double that number right now.
Yeah, and it's like, if you're really into collecting and you like the hobby, I'm always looking for people who have good information and are passionate, who are like, worth listening to, and he's definitely somebody worth listening to. You'll learn a lot. So I would definitely check out his content. And again, thank you so much. And not only did he send me one. Got some trade bait, son. I'll be hooking up a couple people that I know who are after this. So I know some people who already want these, so I'm going to probably have them in my possession shortly. And not only that, but just because the dude's a bro, this was literally for no reason, just for fun, because he's like surprises. He's a cool dude. He threw this in too.
Ooh, oh, nice. That's 16. That's cool.
He brought, it's like a
pack or something.
Yeah, it's like a Final Fantasy 16 promo pack.
And
I gotta say, I like Final Fantasy 16 overall. I got some complaints about it. I got some gripes, but one of them is not the artwork. I love the artwork, dude. Like, let me get the full screen back going. Yeah, dude. Like, dude, it's just freaking badass, bro. Like, I love that they did like the black and red color scheme, which is always badass. You can never go wrong with black and red. It just looks so sick, dude. And you know what's so funny is when I started the game, Joe Schill got the hookup. That's right. I was like, I thought the main character was kind of like a wuss. I was like, why this guy looks so wussy? What the heck? But it's because he was like a teenager, and then he grows up and he turns out to be this huge badass dude. I was like, oh, all right.
The same as 15, really. You play through the demo in 15 when he's like a kid, and I'm like, is that going to be the main protagonist? And it's just the tutorial.
Hell yeah! So he said that too. Pretty awesome. And then can I just randomly? I got some movies. I'm just going to show off real quick. So this is actually my favorite pickup. If you're like an old weirdo, you might know what this is. Does anyone know what this movie is?
No.
Yeah, I would not expect you to know what this is. This is Disney's Flight of the Navigator. This is a movie I used to watch all all the time when I was a little kid, and it's
Joe-
like, what's up? You
Sorry.
like this?
Dude, I've not seen that movie in like 15 years. That unlocked a core memory I forgot about.
Yeah, it's I haven't seen it in a long time, and I remember loving it, and I want to watch it again. I haven't seen it in maybe over a decade, but just remember it's like a fun little sci-fi movie where this kid finds an alien spaceship, and the alien, which is this robot thing, this thing right here, it's voiced by Pee Wee Herman. So that alone is worth the price of admission. I love Pee Wee Herman. I thought he was amazing, and yeah, I don't know. And I guess this is part of like some Disney movie club. I guess these are kind of collectible, I suppose. Like you had to be part of this club to get these. Like they weren't available in like regular stores or some shit like that.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about it. Maybe someone can tell me I'm wrong. I have no idea. But either way, I'm pretty happy to get that.
Nice. Oh, in regard, sorry, do
what's up?
you mind if I ask you a question about a movie real quick, Joe?
Yeah, so
Sorry, in regards to Disney films, have you ever seen an old, I think 70s era Disney flick? No one remembers. It's called The Cat from Outer Space.
I don't remember that one.
Dude, it's not good, but it's enjoyable. It's about a cat. It's about this alien named Jake who takes the form of a cat, and it's basically about him trying to talk to this, I believe he's a military dude, into getting his UFO back into space and taking it back to his home planet. It is all sorts of absurd.
I'll check it out. I'm down with that. There's a lot of like weird Disney movies that are kind of obscure out there like that. The one that I really want is The Black Cauldron. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I've not seen that one.
So The Black Cauldron was like a Disney movie that I think it was either the 70s or the 80s it came out. I think it was the 80s. And it was kind of like a more like a fantasy based one, like swords and sorcery type thing.
Yeah.
But it got like banned because it had like a scene in it that kids thought was scary. So it has some like monsters or something, and then a lot of kids complain that it was scary. So it's like been like they don't show it often. It's like one of those like taboo Disney flicks they don't really talk about anymore. But it's called The Black Cauldron, and I loved it when I was a little kid, so I've been meaning to get that. But again, I haven't seen it since I was 9, so I have no idea if it's actually good. I know this movie's good. I've seen it since I was a kid. I just haven't seen it in a while, but it's dope.
It's like that. You watched it as a little kid. Was it good, or were you just a little kid watching things?
Exactly.
Well, you know,
It's 100% true. Andy sent me a message the other night, and he's like, he's got a little kid. He's like 3 years old, and he's like, my son wouldn't go to sleep. He just wanted to watch YouTube. And he sent me the video he got him to watch. It was paint drying, and he was happy to watch paint drying. So he didn't know what he wanted. He just knew he wanted to watch something. And he's like, he was asleep in 5 minutes at work at Charm.
Yeah, dude. This oh wow, this is actually more damage than I thought. I should probably return this now that I look at it. The whole plastic's peeling off of it. Anyway, I got this too. The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
Oh, nice.
You have any idea what this is?
No.
Okay.
Is that on
So this is DVD. It's not Blu-ray, it's not 4K, this is a DVD. Because it's like that old and nobody buys this shit. So basically, this is Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead. I'm assuming you guys are familiar with Evil Dead and Army of Darkness. It's like my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
This was like a television series he did in the 90s, and it's a southern sci-fi like Western adventure. Don't really know how to describe it. Like he's a cowboy, but he's like after like these like alien artifacts or some shit, or like orbs or something like that. I honestly don't really remember it that well, other than it's hilarious and it's got Bruce Campbell in it, so that's really all that matters. But I think I'm gonna return it because I just realized I didn't even notice this, but like now that I like opened it, like this is all fucking. I didn't notice this until right now, so I think I'm actually gonna have to return this.
It's not the seal, that's the actual, yeah.
Yeah, that's all fucked up. So that's gonna have to go back. And then, real quick, I'm not going to talk about these much, but I did pick up the 2 Hellboys too.
Nice.
These are on sale for super cheap, and I like these movies, even though Ron Perlman is a stupid human piece of garbage.
They can't go wrong with a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, you know.
Yeah, and those movies are dope. So, we both did it, Figsy.
All right. Before I go into my pickups, can I actually show something 2 things for my collection I really have been wanting to show for a little while.
Yeah, man.
All right, so was it? I can't remember. Figsy Joe, did I ever show you guys the autograph Final Fantasy game that I have?
Possibly. Like, we see so much stuff on here that we won't remember until we see it.
Okay. Do you mind if I go grab that real quick?
No,
Yeah,
All right. Give me 1 second here.
not a problem.
I love the Californian flag. I've been learning all my US flags, Joe. Half of
Yeah,
them
you
are
probably know
blue.
better than me.
They all look the same.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I'm not good with that stuff. I'm not good at like capitals either. I'm all
I
right.
think US is tough for capitals because the state capitals aren't like the biggest city. Like some.
Yeah,
of the
that's the
states
thing.
are, like,
You would think
tiny
it would
little towns.
exactly. You think it would be like, this New York's the capital, but it's like not, right? Capital of New York is like some motherfucking place. Something.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Buffalo or Rochester or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
So
think I
when the
I
PS5 was sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Apologies. When the PS5 just come out, my sister she volunteered at a convention, and the dude who played Barrett from Final Fantasy VII Remake was there, and the volunteers were able to get free autographs. So I don't have anything I want to get signed. Do you? So I got a copy of Final Fantasy VII signed by the guy who plays Barrett.
Nice, that's awesome.
That's badass, dude.
And I'm surprised at how much this game's going for on eBay. I don't think I've seen that or not. This is like a.
I was
this
just
is like
gonna say that
Oh,
game's
yeah.
already worth a lot of money just the
Yeah.
game.
So I just thought that was a really cool thing. And the other cool thing in my collection I've really wanted to show for a while. Had to give me just 1 second here. It's PS2. Yes, PS2 game. One of my holy grails I bought a while back. But Xenosaga 3.
Nice.
But what I find really cool about this copy is someone cared enough about this game back in the day to keep its original receipt. And they bought it like the second or third day the game came out.
That's always cool, dude.
I've seen
Yeah, I
those
just-
odd prices too, where they're like $120 for a new game. It's like, oh my god, I forgot
Yeah.
like how expensive things used to be.
I think this guy paid like $44 at GameStop from with a coupon. So, but that was super cool. Now onto the pickups. I'll show the big stuff first, and then the normal games. First, Fixie, you might like this one. Picked up the Buzz World game with the buzzers.
Nice. dude.
Box a bit banged up, but
It's actually
Funny-
so much fun to play it with the buttons.
Yeah. that's the funniest thing. I actually didn't buy this for the collection. Where I just moved in to the whole place with my my partner and their grandparents and stuff. They don't like video games, but they like trivia. So I figured, well, this was on sale at a local shop for like $30-$40. So I was like, yeah, why not? So, and we
Yeah,
actually we do what? Sorry, go ahead.
I love party games like that, trivia
Yeah,
games. Like
yeah.
I usually always pick up like the Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy that come out every time there's a system because like those are fun.
Yeah,
Like, I want to be a millionaire. Like I'm gonna pick that up with PS5.
Dude,
'cause it
they
sounds
played
fun.
it. They played it so much. Like me as they were playing it so much with their grandkids that like I was debating on buying them a freaking PS3 just so I wouldn't have to keep bringing mine over.
Oh,
And I picked
no.
up
nice,
this,
dude.
the Project
Nice,
Diva
brother.
controller. I don't know,
Yeah.
is it in shot?
Oh yeah.
So very happy to have that. And this
Yeah, I
thing,
have
I do what, Joe?
I have that one too. Yeah.
All right, so one more big, like sizable item. I bought this a while back. A PC Engine Duo.
Nice.
This
dude.
thing's been not region modded, but recapped and RGB modded.
Badass. I
Now,
like that, the white one too.
yeah.
It's
Now
cool.
onto the games. So should I show the PS3 stuff first or the other stuff first? Because I got a lot of PS3 at this time.
Oh,
Whatever
whatever.
your
man.
heart desires.
All right, I guess I'll go PS3 first. So I already had a copy of this, but my copy was all sorts of screwed up. So I went ahead and bought this upgrade only because how cheap it was. Picked up Web of Shadows. Picked up
Nice.
I picked up a PAL copy there. The I think it's Spanish artwork here.
Mhm.
And the price I paid for it, oh, you can see that or not, $50.
Not bad.
I was
Yeah, even a power
astonished.
copy's worth double that. So
Yeah.
you know, good
This was
price.
in I wasn't going to pick this up, but whenever Spec Ops, whenever it went up in price, I was being a filthy reseller, and I bought all 3 copies the store had. And this was here, and it had been there for months. I was like, when I saw these Spec Ops, I didn't sell them for what they were worth. I think I sold them for like 35, 40 each. But whatever this is for months. I said, well, you know what? My copy of Spec Ops I'm selling is going to cover for this. So I went ahead and got that as an upgrade.
And you sold the other one?
I already sold that one too. So
Yeah.
a local game shop, I showed them the condition issues, and they popped it in, it played. So they're like, well, we're going to give you, they gave me $60 for it in trade. So I think for $50, I can't complain on that one. Now, moving on to the next one. This one's sealed, which it bums me out because the disc is rattling, unfortunately. Saint Seiya, Sanctuary Battle. This is the Region 3 copy, which is a bit odd.
You can pop those discs back in. There's some really good YouTube guides on how to do it.
I know. I'm just too paranoid. I'm too paranoid, So next PS3 thing we picked up here. This was on my want list for ages, and not because it was expensive. Just I never saw it locally, and that is the 2K games, the Rogues and Outlaws collection.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's
And I just love the case. I saw it on eBay for like $25, so I had to pull the
Well,
trigger
it's got-
there.
With the Spec Ops, the line on.
Yeah, exactly. So
Worth it.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah, you're right. It's the Spec
Yeah.
Ops a lot of that.
yeah, so then I sold my original copy. So I think I sold like 4 Spec Ops the lines this month. I don't normally resell, but sometimes if I can, I will.
Yeah, I have that
Picked up-
game.
Yeah, I picked up Vampire Reign, Altered Species, and unfortunately, I bought this from eBay knowing that there's a sticker here, but I thought it was not stuck to the artwork itself. But
Yeah, they always do that. Those stupid GameStop.
yeah,
Giving it a try to take it off.
not
It'll-
yet.
It'll tear it. Don't do
Yeah.
it.
Well, how?
But-
Well, because they're older now. What I'll do is I'll take them out.
Yeah,
I'll just put the artwork flat, and sometimes they're that old that the sticker just pops out because the glue's like completely gone at this point.
then I'll try it. But I mean, aside from that, this is like a beautiful condition copy, and it even comes with the poster.
Oh, nice
Which-
one.
That's cool.
A lovely game, that one. Like the case and the manual and the artwork's really nice on it.
Yeah. So I've been getting a lot more into survival horror recently. So I picked up Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City,
Nice one.
and I picked up another PS3 heavy hitter here, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed Ultimate Sith Edition, the Steelbook version.
Lovely condition
Cool.
too.
Yeah,
Cool,
and it has the Darth Maul with a graph thing. This one, it sucks I had to rebuy this. My last copy I bought years ago for like $10 at a GameStop, but unfortunately, unfortunately when I went to play it recently, it was dead, so I had to rebuy it.
Ah, that's
3D Game Heroes. This is better condition than one I used to have, so and picked up a common, but one I didn't have yet, which was weird. Diablo 3.
nice.
So I'm trying to get
That's
every
the best
piece.
to pick up because it's got all
Yeah.
the DLC and everything included.
Yeah. And then I picked up these last 2 PS3 pickups. They were some of my want list for ages. I mean, absolute ages. So I'll show you the lesser of the 2. I mean, in regards to how much I wanted them. The first one was Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection.
Nice.
I kept telling myself, it's on sale for $30. I'll buy it when it's 25. Never happened. And then it shot up. But a buddy of mine sold me his entire game collection, and this was one of those. So
I just want to add with that, some of the games are download codes. So
yeah, it's
maybe
first-
very
the-
used.
I think it's the first one in VR missions, right?
Yep.
Um,
And then some of
unfor-
them, to access them, you go on the disc and they don't say that they're on the disc, and then you
Yeah.
find the games on there. And
yeah, it's a bit of a mess there, but and then the PS3 game, so happy to finally get a copy of. The Sky Triple Play Collection.
Nice.
This has eluded me since I started getting into PS3 collecting in like 2017, 2018.
wow, I'm surprised by that. It's a common PAL game, or at least
It's not in the States. I mean, I saw one of these new at GameStop when it first came out. I'll wait. and I just never saw it again. Now, moving on, should I do the non-PlayStation stuff next? Yeah, I think I'll do some more. I think I'll change up and do some non-PlayStation. So I bought the PC Engine, and with that, I needed some games to go with it. So I'll show off what I got. I'll show off the non-CD-ROM games first. But I got first one I got here was a Pack-In with the Machine, and that was just a tennis game. I don't know the name of it. And then I got Herodias.
Nice.
Oh yeah, dude.
And my partner bought this one in a multi-tap so we could play together.
I love
Bomberman.
it. So much fun.
Oh, yeah.
I used to play them back on the Game Boy. They're such good games.
Oh, they are, man. They are. And then I picked up, I'll show that one last, picked up, got this really good deal, but the Steel, the TurboGrafx.
Nice one.
This is a Working Designs Tactical RPG, and this is really hard to find in any condition. I bought this for a deep discount because it was scratched to heck and back, and it didn't work. So I got a partial refund, and I think it came out to like $70 for the partial refund, spent $2 to get a refurbishment done, and it works like a charm now. So I was very happy to have that.
Is you can buy a broken game and fix
Yeah.
it. It's like I just got a $50 discount and fixed it for free.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one in this condition doesn't have a manual, unfortunately, but I'm trying to piece it together. Even one in this condition is like 120 to like 150. So next up, we've got, this is a reproduction, but it's a really good one. Facit Amore, I think that's how you pronounce that. The reproduction is actually on a pressed disc. So really cool. Now, a Holy Grail game for me was also crossed off, and that is Fantastic Night Dreams Cotton.
Nice.
There's a PS4 and Switch port, but the reason I wanted this one was because the music is different, and not only is the music different, but so too is some of the graphics and gameplay. So,
Can never have too many Cotton games in the collection.
oh no, for sure. I love Cotton, one of my favorite series. Now on to some Vita stuff.
It surprised to me that Strictly Limited haven't sold out of all their Cotton stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because the amount of people that have had bad experiences through Strictly Limited and aren't buying from them ever again is just ridiculously high at this point.
Yeah.
Dude, I looked the other day and they have I think it's 13 or 14 orders or something from me. They haven't.
That's
shipped.
crazy.
If you go on their Twitter, it's just people that aren't happy.
Yeah.
Well, if they're getting to the first press, it's once you start it's been almost 2 years since you ordered something and they haven't shipped. That's when people start to get really angry. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And they came out with a statement saying, "Look, everything's coming soon." Blah, blah, blah. Look, at this point, you need to give people their games. Sorry.
Yeah.
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 It's their own fault. I'll be honest with you, because they published some stinkers.
Yeah.
There was a while there where I even said something on their Twitter. I'm just like, why are these games so terrible? Why are you putting out such terrible games? These are really niche indie games that I'm like, dude, I don't know anybody who would buy these. What are you thinking? Just freaking put out shmups in arcade games, for God's sake.
Just making
Exactly.
people are buying them. We'll just keep printing money, and these games will be
They
99
work.
cents on Steam.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, did it work if people aren't ordering their good games now?
Exactly.
A new company could come out with Cotton games and sell out.
Oh, yeah.
This shit company. So I'll never spend another cent through them again.
So
I don't feel that way yet. But
Yeah.
I'm not ordering any new products until I get what I'm owed. Let's put it that way. They've reached the point. That's the point I've got.
About
Now.
20,
No more money until I get what I've already given them.
yeah. I also picked up
Oh,
Revelations Persona.
Nice. Ooh, God damn,
Nice.
that's a really nice copy too.
Unfortunately, you say that, but
How's there a crack on the back?
no manual.
Ah, whatever, bro.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I mean, not that it would be cheap to replace the manual, but that at least is possible. That
Yeah.
getting those double cases in nice shape, that's really
The hard
hard.
part. Yeah. It is. It is.
Yeah.
And especially if they're official too. I think this one's official.
Yeah. you
Yeah.
can find it.
Yeah, that's official. But-
That's really cool, man.
Thank you. Also picked up another. Keep in mind, this isn't just 1 month. It's several months between where I've been on. So, but Silent Hill Origins.
Nice.
That's
15
and-
bucks. Nice
No,
job.
no. This was a case swap. I was hanging around to taking out the sticker yet.
That's all good.
I wish it was $15. So I'm going for the full Vita set. So I got some more of those. I got. I'm mainly going for the U.S. releases. That's my big thing. But I do occasionally get imports. So I grabbed the English copy of J-Star's Victory. And the rest of these are all ESRBs or limited run. So I got Soldner X2. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce that right, but there we go.
Yeah, I've never
That was
been
one of
quite
the first titles,
sure how to say that. Soldner.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah, and this is the limited run release as opposed to the Play Asia release. There we go. I also grabbed the Zero Time Dilemma.
Which one do I have? Now I'm curious.
I had that Vita game. I sold it at one point.
And I grabbed this one is Bit Trip Presents Runner 2. So,
Oh, I have a hole punch limited run. I just realized for that Soldner game.
yeah,
Oh no.
I grabbed Grand Kingdom.
Was that limited run?
No, this was an NIS America.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that got a retail release over here.
And the last one I got, I love my fan service, the anime weeb games. So, got Valkyrie Drive.
Nice. Well, the Vita's the perfect system for that genre, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have all the Surin Kagras and stuff. This one I've been wanting to check out for a while, so glad to add that. So that's all my pickups. So
Nice, dude. Good stuff, brother.
thank you.
The Persona was fire, man. I'm telling you. That's
Yeah,
expensive.
well,
That game
yeah.
is like $300
Dude,
now.
Thankfully, I traded a bunch of PS4 stuff for it because I got out of PS4 and 5 for the most part because my darn PS5 kept scratching up discs. Two of them. I bought two of them and it's still doing that. So yeah.
That's
Well, it's been a
annoying.
really fun episode, guys.
Oh yeah.
You had a dark start. They had a funny quiz.
Yeah.
Some awesome pickups. Thanks again for coming on the show, AJ.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
And we'll definitely see you on here again in the future. Guys, we've got the next 8 shows all booked out already. So lots of really exciting guests all coming on the podcast soon. Clean will be on this Sunday, so stay tuned for Clean. And then I believe every guest after that is going to be a new guest to the podcast. So it should be really exciting.
Yeah, it should be pretty awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool guests coming up, so should be a fun next few month or two. And then again, if you are interested in coming on the show, you can always reach out to me or Figsy on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want to reach us, and we can try to book you in.
It's looking like April at this point for new guests, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, we'll always, if people want to reach out, we'll always get you in at some point. We do 2 shows a week, 52 weeks a year. We're up to like 130 or something at this point, so we're going to keep the numbers rolling. It's a lot of fun. Thanks to you guys for watching. I'll send everyone on Twitch over for a raid and everyone on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey, everybody.
You found the